As famed dungeon master Elton John once said, after his players asked for the umpteenth time when the next game is, Saturday. Saturday, 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 Saturday night's alright. Welcome to Homebrew, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of self-isolation using our two favorite forms of escapism, alcohol and Dungeons and Dragons. A couple of announcements before we start the show proper. We have a new code from our partners at Dakota Irish. So, new code. You should see it in the screen somewhere. It's on our overlay. And one of the you know more than we do. We're flying blind.
I think it's east of Gav, northeast of Keelan, maybe.
Yeah, it's right beside Keelan's head. The code is Homebrew 10. So if you're looking for quality dice, handmade dice trays, vaults, little amazing handcrafted towers to roll your dice in, head to dakotairish.com. And when you get to that checkout, before you hit buy, this is really important, before you hit buy, enter the promo code Homebrew10. Don't make the same mistake as I do every time I get a promo code. Other things you can do. Well, if you enjoy the show and you want to help support us and this general nonsense that we do every couple of weeks, please tell a friend. If you don't already, follow us on our social channels. They are at Homebrew Quest. You'll find that pretty much across the big three. I guess you could say the big three: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Add us on WhatsApp if you know our phone numbers. You know, find us anywhere.
Our Patreon isn't active yet, but when it is, the first tier will be Ben will stop singing at the intros.
Oh, and then I'll
The second tier is Ben will get singing lessons and sing better at the intros.
Oh, paying for quality here.
He can always sing well. He's purposely toning it down because it's a free service.
Oh, I can't sing. It's one of my biggest. It's one of my biggest fears. And actually, a little pro DM/streamer tip. I start the show scared shitless about the singing part that it actually calms my nerves about everything else. So there's a little tip. It might work for you. It works for me.
It shows.
Do you feel pressured to sing?
Yeah, I didn't realize this was
No, but it's, I enjoy singing in the shower, and I enjoy making up little ditties about D&D based on the songs that I'm listening to in the shower.
Well, that's
just wait until you get my
spoiled all of this for me now.
Just imagine me just singing away in my chunk and cleaning the pipes.
Tell us, what's
you
this
took that to a
game
place.
you play on Saturday, Ben, and why aren't we invited?
Because it's Elton John's home game, and it's like one tier above Joe Manganiello's secret special Hollywood star game.
It's you, Eminem. It's three. It's three people.
It's just the three of us. Yeah.
And I'll watch the shit out of that D&D show. It's like Elton John, Eminem, and Joe Manganiello.
No, and me. Joe's not invited.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm the third wheel. So yeah, if you want to support this madness, tell a friend, tweet about it, post about it, take a little screenshots or whatever. Reshare the stuff we post. I know some of you guys are already doing that, and we really, really appreciate it because we've seen it. We're just seeing like more and more people joining in on the fun. We have a Discord, which we chat about beers, chat about D&D. We also chat about like tech streaming setups and stuff. So if you're looking to start a stream, come on over to us. The more the merrier. That's what we think. Community corkboard. This is normally where I hand over to Wes, but I'm stealing the limelight once again. If for fans of the show in Canada and around the world, because that's how podcasts work, but specifically in Canada, a friend of mine recently started it's less of a D&D tabletop game and more like a narrative radio play called Signcast. So if you look up Sign, S-I-N-E, Canada, Podbean, you'll get it. Julian Frid is the name of the DM. It is a really rich world that they play in. And I know that because I played in a campaign maybe 4 years ago that was like the foundation of this show now. So it's nothing to do with what I do, but my character is like a legendary character in their world. And that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll be on someday. Who knows? So yeah, check out Signcast. You should be able to find them. That, again, is S-I-N-E, not sign as in S-I-G-N. And then, all right, I think we can pretty much start the show. Gonna go do a round of drinking. Everyone, what we're drinking today? I'll start. I cracked open a Broken Dream by Siren. Actually, that's not focused. Wes, I think I saw this from your house at some point.
They're very tasty.
Yeah. It's a delicious
breakfast stout, yeah.
Yes.
Now you can't talk during the show. But yeah, I'm sipping on that. That's from Siren. They're a craft brewery in the UK. I believe they're craft. Sometimes you say these things and they've been bought by Big Beer. So if they have, the beer's still tasty.
No,
Going around in our usual format, Wes, what beer are you drinking?
I'm drinking the old favourite Go Away Hooker, but I also have Blue Moon to chase it down. I'm a fan of both of these. Would recommend.
Gab, what do you want?
I'm on the Punk IPA.
Ooh.
I'm loving the Brewdog these days.
Good old brew.
Yeah, and I think it'll be Clockwork Tangerine for the second half.
Ooh.
So you can look forward to that.
They're a thing in this world. They build roads.
You won't be getting any names from me, Ben, since I've gone back to the old reliables.
I mean, it brings back in cameos. If you bring it up, you're on a Clockwork Tangerine road.
True.
You know.
Yeah.
And Lucy, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Erdinger, alcohol-free, because, you have to differentiate the days.
That's important.
And finally, Keelan.
I'm drinking a White Hag Puka. This time it is the dry hopped lemon sour ginger lime. Absolutely delicious. Haven't had this one before, and it was everything I hoped it would be. I'll drink it again.
I think they're one of their most newest in the Puka range. And obviously, chat, if you're drinking along with the show, let us know in the comments. I see good old Lindsay Langdon is cracking into a wicked awesome IPA, maybe from Boston, with a name like that. If it's wicked awesome.
It's wicked awesome.
Let us know if it is from Boston. Finally, just before we jump into the adventure, huge thank you to our tech team. That is Paul and Angus. They basically keep the show alive and running and, to the ability that we can share it with you guys. So we're incredibly appreciative of everything they do. We are putting Paul's internet through the ringer with all of us coming in on video feeds and audio and all that kind of stuff. So I think there was a little audio sync in the last episode. Apologies about that. But just imagine it's a podcast that you have to go to more effort to listen to by opening up, unless you have YouTube Premium or whatever that is. So yeah, I think we got a quick glimpse at Paul's man behind the screen cave, which I'm incredibly jealous of. I got this boring beige wall. But yeah, that's I think that's about it. Now, without further ado, grab yourself a drink, pull up a chair, as we dive into a world where anything is possible, but not always probable. Guys, I don't know about you. It's episode 22. Welcome back to the realm of Hibernia. And imagine, if you will, perfect harmony amongst all things. Not just living creatures, but all things. Time, the earth, the elements, your emotions. And so it was, perfectly in tune. Until it wasn't. Until there came an imbalance. And at first, the imbalance went to talk to time itself. Try to coax time with fleeting moments, a promise of finality, a slice of mortality. But time was unmoved. To the elements, the imbalance spoke next, offering control over their chaos, the overwhelming force of raw power that wraps around them, structure to harness that energy. But the elements cared not for such a prison. The imbalance went next to the flora and fauna of our world, tempting the plants with movement, the means to unroot themselves and travel freely, persuading fish with dreams of soaring through the sky, teasing birds with the thought of diving deep into the darkest ocean. But all were happy with their part in harmony and balance. All but one. But the imbalance knew it only takes one to tip the scales. A set of lowly creatures, jealous of the infinite nature of time, the raw power of the elements, the freedom and livelihood of all the other plants and animals. And these creatures sought out the imbalance. They went searching for the shadow behind the light of creation. But that was then. And this is now, where we find ourselves in the midst of 4 sexy, sexy adventurers currently cowering in the cranny of a crumbling forest ruin.
Successful.
Yes, correct.
Some DMs call it stealth. I call it cowardice. Arlington, if you could fill the audience in on the last, say, 24 hours of your adventure. Anything that you see as important that will kind of catch them up to this moment. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, so we started out last session running trials with a man called Trooper. He taught us that playing patty cake every morning is good for your health, so now we're avid patty cake fans. And armed with those new skills, we head off to the dead village to get to the bottom of Huck's curse, or whatever he's got going on. He's a weird guy. We travel through the wilds for a while. Eventually, we end up setting up camp in a ruin in the middle of the forest. I went off poking around to survey the area and found some tracks from some giant beastie who left a poisonous trail of some sort. Rather than encountering it by myself, I came back to the camp, told everyone about it, and we decided to set up an alarm. So we set up. There was a downstairs in the ruins, so we set up camp down there. Brought the horses down to make sure they didn't get spooked and run off or become monster food, and set up sort of a tripwire with a rope at the front. And we were there, cowering strategically, and whatever this beastie is found us. Spotted the horses almost immediately, because horses don't know how to be stealthy, but it doesn't seem to have spotted us yet. And I don't know if we got a good bead in it. I think it's still pretty shrouded in shadow, but we're probably going to kill it. But stay tuned to find out how.
Or if.
Yeah, no need to stay tuned. We can dive right in. Yeah, you got a pretty good beat in it. The last the last two, the literally seconds before, it's not even a memory yet. It's happening to you currently. Was beside these ruins in a kind of crumbling, broken window. A kind of giant trollish eye kind of peered in, and you hear it smelling around, and you get the feeling the kind of mangy, dirty, covered in flies horses that you guys described as your noble steeds in the last episode has caught the scent of that has kind of drifted through the forest and brought this this troll into your midst. You
Could
do
you
have a
elaborate
trap
on this trollish eye you were describing?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's yellow with jaundice, and it's pussing this sort of purple ooze. It's almost like dangling out, and it sort of pushes back in and kind of looks in and I smell dinner. And so the troll tries to kind of like reach through the window itself, but it's just kind of not getting in. I go, I'm gonna have to find another way around. And you hear these studded footsteps moving around the sort of 3/4 room. Classic, if you can imagine if we played with minis and a setup, your classic D&D tabletop setup of where we leave a convenient fourth wall that's gone for the audience to see into. And that's, in this case, it is gone. And the troll moves around. It's walking past your tripwire, and it doesn't spot it. And it tumbles and just crashes face first. Oh, what the hell?
Ooh. How far away are we from it now that it's hit the ground?
I think last time I said that you've set your trap up maybe 20 feet into the, like you've got about 40 feet in a square to play around with. And you guys are in the corner with your horses where the window was, and he's gone away all the way to the other side. So let's say it's 20 feet across and 40 feet down, and he's crashed in. So he's crashed maybe 10 foot forward, and you're about 30 feet away.
I mean, I think we should probably attack this guy.
Mm. Yeah. You can all roll initiative if you want to make a...
Yeah.
The troll might be here. I think I heard...
So at Iggy's command, we attack.
Yeah. Everyone roll initiative.
All right.
Not bad.
Nice.
Do we get a surprise round on this?
Yeah, you get a surprise round for sure.
Nice.
As its face planted into the ground, and you see a cloud of kind of earth and dust splash up around it. 20 to 25.
22.
22. Hey, that's the name of this episode. It's not the name. It's the number.
Face.
Yeah. 15 to 20.
No, I was thinking, sorry.
Sorry. I got 19.
19. And Iggy?
21.
21. That was last episode. And hey, 19 was 2 episodes before that.
This is weird.
Oh my god,
This is
so
weird.
spooky.
Oh my god, number.
Arlington, what did you get?
I got 14. Don't tell me how many episodes ago that was.
Would you guys like to roll initiative for your horses, or do you want me to just kind of count them into their own round and then we can all do it? Like, how would you
Let's keep them all together for simplicity.
Yeah.
Okay. And would you like to roll that, Arlington, or do you want me to roll it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, one less thing for you to worry about. Modifier for the.
Yeah, let's say +2. They're speedy horses.
They got 10.
10. Go last. You get a surprise round on this troll. Rian, you are up first.
So 30 feet away?
30 feet away.
Grant, I'd like to dash up to the troll and attack with my short sword.
Yeah, absolutely. Roll for an attack.
So... dang, that's not going to be good. 14.
If he's prone, you get advantage on the attack, though.
Oh,
Right.
fucking sweet. Oh, damn.
Damn.
So that's a 14, bud.
You dash from the shadows, kind of agilely hopping from foot to foot, like slick as a panther. And you go to slice down, but something about that cloud of dust that... I knew the troll was just falling as you made a leap for it. You're that quick off the mark. But that cloud of earth just bursts up and kind of confuses you. And you make contact with something. Roll damage.
Oh. So it's sneak attack.
Yeah.
As well. Oh, nice. 2, 4, 6, 7, 12, plus 5, 17.
Whew, you slam your short sword down and dealing 17 damage to the ground.
You got me.
His smug little face when you took the bait.
Fuck.
Look at that hope.
Oh.
You have your bonus action, and you probably don't have your movement. You probably took all your movement to get there.
Yeah, I'd like to. I still have movement.
Oh no, yeah, you used bonus action to dash, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did use bonus action to dash, yeah.
So you have your movement.
In which case, I'd like to move... Hold on, let me check something.
You're also okay to swap that with
so
if you want to keep your bonus action somewhere.
No, I'd like to move away 20 feet, kind of. So I go in, I slice the ground, and then I move left and go 20 feet.
20 feet, yeah. Okay, so you kind of crush up against, like, say where the entrance wall is, you're kind of slipping in there. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Wes, the attack of opportunity when you're prone, all attacks from the ground are made with disadvantage, right?
Yes, I would assume so.
Yeah. The it's not even like a main attack. The troll tries to just sort of like get itself up, and you easily just leap over its swiping claw and hide. Not hide, but you move out of the way. You get the feeling that the troll didn't actually spot you, though. Something about the earth and the swipe and everything. It's completely discombobulated. Brings us to Iggy.
Yeah. Can I cast Dissonant Whispers, which I haven't cast before, to get him some sort of painful, piercing noise? I think he has to do a...
Yeah. So it needs to make a saving throw, I believe.
Yes.
What's a stat?
Wisdom.
Wisdom saving throw. It rolls. Where's its wisdom? And 16. Does that mean your spell save DC?
That was what I was wondering what it was going to go up against. Spell save DC. God damn it!
The bigger number on your spell sheet.
Mm.
Oh yeah, that's 24, is it?
Probably
no,
not that. That's unbeatable.
Oh, sorry. 15. Sorry.
Ooh, you get the feeling that it hasn't taken full effect. With Dissonant Whispers, if they fail, do they still take half damage?
It still takes half the damage. Yeah.
Cool.
Which would be
so roll your damage.
Which would be that was the part I was trying to do first, so I was prepared, but I didn't know what the saving throw was going to be. It would have been 12/6.
12/6. Perfect. Cool. So how do you are presuming you're scraping your nails across this chalkboard?
Yes, exactly. But I was just going to be still at the ruins, like I'm staying back when I was doing it.
Nice. Yeah. You have your bonus action and your movement, should you wish to use it.
Yeah. Can I shout some inspiration, maybe to Arlington, who's mid-attack. Are you over there?
Yeah. I think Arlington's like starting to react to the attack.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna show Arlington a picture of 2 eyes and just be like, look, you've got this guy beat. 2 beats 1.
I mean,
Magically, you feel
I
inspired.
appreciate the confidence, but my intelligence is 0.
Well,
She's watching you. is what
She wants me to kill it. I understand. Yes.
I need to fix the motivational posters for Arlington to keep them more.
Very literal.
She's
Okay.
telling you there's 2 eyes in team.
Is that the end of your turn,
Yeah, I'm on there.
Iggy?
Mhm.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Cool. Huck, you see Iggy scrape her nails across this board and then spin it around and magically showing 2 eyes to Arlington, who seemingly seems his morale is suitably boosted. You don't know if Rian's attack has landed, but the troll is still face down on the ground, not knowing really what to do. The horses seem pretty confident. For all their manginess, they're broken in when it comes to war. They just kind of shuffle and keep themselves out of the distance.
That's horses for you. So
Don't get me started.
Okay, well, Huck had decided to buff his allies.
You can do that?
What?
Yeah. By buff, I mean set you on fire with a fireball.
Oh, I figured, yeah.
Same thing. Same
If
thing.
you were on fire, it'll be afraid of you, right? Yeah, exactly.
It very much will be, yes.
I'm going to try and use my sorcerer twinned spell to twin haste and cast haste on Arlington. And can I see Rian still?
Yes,
I don't think I'm hidden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Good work, Rian. Okay, so provided you guys are willing, I think that just casts, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Provided you're willing, you'll get a +2 bonus to AC. You'll have advantage on dexterity saving throws, and you get 1 additional action on each of your turns.
Yeah.
And that action can only be used to attack with only 1 weapon, or dash, disengage, hide, or use an object. And it's concentration, Ben, just so you know. So if I get hit, I can have to
Perfect. Thank
try
you
to
very
hold
much.
on to it. And yeah, when the spell ends, you've got a minute. When the spell ends, you guys are going to be wrecked. That's the other thing. Nothing like a buff that's going to so win in a minute. That's what I'm saying.
I love the flavor of this spell so much. Like,
Yeah. So I'm
Arlington-
gonna, I don't know, finger gun just shoot, haste beams at both of them.
and of course, we all know what they look like.
Yeah, haste beams. They're incredibly fast, so it'll just look like light beaming out of my fingers. That's what haste looks like.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You have your bonus action and your movement.
There isn't very much I can do. Can I use movement? Is there a kind of like small outcrop of wall towards the troll that I could run to? As kind of
Like a little half cover kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can, especially as a halfling, you can definitely find, let's for flavor say, in the left-hand corner where Rian went, on the opposite side of the room, so the middle of the right room, there's kind of a little bit of a classic first-person shooter crate wall thing that you can hide under. Yeah, and that's halfway up the room, so that's 20 feet. You move 20 feet and you duck down.
Great. So yeah, that'll be me. That's my go.
Arlington, you get ready to react and do what you will do on your turn, and you just see really slowly Huck running past you and covering. And you kind of look around and Iggy's holding up her inspirations line also slowly. The only person who seems to be moving at your speed is Rian in the corner. Just gives you a quick thumbs up. And this troll is still just seems to be struggling and slowly getting up off the ground. It's your turn. You can do as you wish.
Okay. Arlington's gonna, as far as he's concerned, he was the first to react to the troll come into the room, so he's gonna say, "Oh, get behind me," and then his pupils are gonna dilate massively, and he goes, "I can taste your heartbeat," and I'm gonna sprint forward at the troll and attack him on the ground.
Absolutely, make your attack.
I get advantage because he's on the ground, correct?
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
That is wonderful news. That's going to be 17 to hit.
Yeah. You get another attack because of the haste. Do you want to do all your attacks at once, and then we'll?
I'm going to use my extra attack for this action, and then I get to use another action for a third attack. Because I get a second attack with this one action anyway. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll do the 2 attacks first. So, yeah.
Cool.
So, with advantage. So, that's going to be 19 for the second one.
Also hits.
I'm not going to use my other action yet. I'm going to see how this guy fares from the attacks for the first 2.
Nice.
So,
yeah, roll your damage. So
that's going to be... I'm just going to roll them all out. So that's 8. 8 is 16. Maths. So that's 22 from my Lair Skull Axe. But then I also get to add 2d6 because this is a surprise attack and I'm a bugbear.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah, I never get to use this. So what are we?
Yeah, bugbears tend not to surprise people.
Yeah.
They tend to see you coming.
16, 22 plus 2d6. So 4. So I was 9. So I deal 31 slashing damage to this fool.
Nice. So 22 plus 9, 31. Let me just do the plus 9. Amazing. You run forward, and as you sprint, like you go to slice this absolute mofo, and your Lair Skull Axe like leaves your hand, and as he's getting up, just like sinks in, and your first attack is like a thrown axe, but you're so fast that you're kind of running alongside it. You reef it out, and then just two-handed right back down. Each attack, as you smash into this creature, sprays up this kind of disgusting fume and ichor away from this troll. Now, I'm going to let you rules lore me because I know you're fair. Part of Poison Splash, you're kind of taking damage from any time. So anytime the troll takes damage, if you're in within 5 feet, a kind of Poison Splash happens. So I'm going to count that as both attacks, if that's okay.
Sure.
But I'm open to an argument that says...
Oh, no, I mean, that sounds completely fair. I'm wailing on this guy.
In which case, you take 21 points of poison damage as it sprays up against you. First splash, second splash. And you can feel it just sticking and just corroding your hair and fur.
Okay.
You've done a significant amount of damage to it, though.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it almost did the same in poison, which is... It's unfortunate.
It's fair. Okay. Okay, that's a lot of poison.
Use your haste action to disengage for free.
I'm gonna do a quick. I just want to see if Arlington's gonna rage for this. He's good. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use my other action from. Oh wait, no, I can't use it. Let me double check what haste lets me do.
I can tell you.
You can disengage it.
You can disengage with it.
No, I wanted to grapple, but.
Oh, it doesn't say grapple in the set list.
No, I think I probably should just attack it again. That makes the most sense. Yeah, I'm just going to brush the poison out of my mouth and whisper into its ear. It's still on the ground, prone, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like,
yeah.
It's aged somehow. What the younglings?
Yeah, I'm going to put like a hand on the back of his head and just kind of whisper in his ear, "The universe forgives you, my brother," and slam the axe into the side of his throat.
Make an attack
right now, I think. So 15. So that's going to be 21 to hit.
Yeah. You know it. Roll your damage.
So that is 9 slashing damage. A much more reasonable number.
Much more reasonable number. And this time, because you're so close and you kind of just drag the axe across its throat, only 2 points of poison just spill onto your hand a little bit. And you just take. Take it.
Don't hold back. If he's gonna kill me, he's gonna kill me.
No. I rolled 2 ones.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you were like, you hit him in the soft spot. Cool.
No.
That was
it's
the
like
snake eyes
your hand,
that Lucy drew.
Yeah.
You get the feeling like when you're doing dishes and the water is just a little bit hotter than you expect. You need to stop doing the dish. You go, okay, I can do this.
Yeah. That's a very good visual. I understand immediately.
That's the level of poison pain.
I think as after I've like slit his throat, I'm going to look up to Iggy and be like this.
It is the troll's turn. However, this is a surprise round, so I'm not going to count your horses in the surprise. So I'm going to trust that you guys are keeping them out of the fight, but they are there as a resource should you wish. Now, they could easily die, obviously, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us top of the round. Rian, you see Arlington just like, whoosh, like the flash up to this troll and just wail into it and then just do this kind of very precise cut across its throat. Almost like it's, you know, the way they in movies when they try to steal the essence of someone and they just sort of through the throat, that kind of thing.
Right.
It's your turn. You have your movement, your actions, everything. Just let me know when your turn's over and I will move on.
Would I be able to tell that Arlington was hurt from the poison spray? Do I need to do a perception roll for that, maybe?
No, I think that's obvious enough. Like,
it's
poison
obvious.
just like burst out of this creature.
Okay. In which case, I'd like to take out my short bow and attack from the wall first. So I'm kind of dropping my sword, knocking my arrow, and unleashing it at the troll. And 22.
22 hits?
Yeah. So that is just 1d6 plus 5. So that is 6 damage.
Nice.
Then I'm going to use my bonus action from my first turn to kind of move around the wall into a hidden position or out into the woods, kind of behind a tree.
Mm-hmm. The troll is kind of blocking the main entrance, but I'll let you make an acrobatics check. It won't count as anything, just to leap over sort of some crumbling walls.
He's a halfling as well, so he can move through the trolls. Oh, he's on the ground, so it doesn't matter,
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten up yet.
Yeah, that's 13.
It's tough. I'm going to say you can make it over, but you won't be able to, like, I know this is probably your intention anyway, but you can't go any further than just over the wall.
Okay, yeah.
That's probably your intention.
Yeah, sure. I just go over the wall. I just go over the wall, and then as my bonus action, I'd like to hide.
Yeah.
So I'm not hidden, and then I'd like to make a second attack.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So roll stealth.
Grand. Natural 1, which I'm going to re-roll. I remembered myself this time.
Getting such good value out of that halfling trait.
And the second one is very good. That is a 30.
Yeah. You're gone. You're out of here. You don't exist.
I don't exist. Hidden. And then from the shadows, I'm going to attack. So I think that you get advantage if you kind of are unseen and do a ranged attack.
I don't know if you get advantage. Actually, unfortunately, and I won't apply this to the last roll, because the troll was prone, you would have got disadvantage on your ranged attack. So the last time you would have gotten it. So I think you just get your sneak attack if you're hidden, not advantage. Otherwise, that seems a little bit OTT, because you're constantly hidden, right? So it will be disadvantage on this.
Disadvantage, attack. But I get sneak attack. Grant.
Yes.
Oh, not good. Not good. It's a 12.
Whew, this arrow just spins by. You're aiming just a little high.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Your bow was hidden from yourself, and you're like, "Oh, I'm too good at hiding."
I'm too good. Yeah. Where did it go? Up behind the ear. Oh.
I think that's to the end of your turn.
Yep, that's everything.
It's a flurry of activity around you. The horses, again, are just sort of keeping to themselves. Arlington is wailing on this troll. Rian is nowhere to be found, but you do hear the kind of telltale of, like, arrows and stealth. You don't know if that was arrows or stealth. It's the same sound effect. We can only afford one stock sound effect for Rian, and it's that one.
It brings me comfort. Like, oh, he's doing that thing again.
It is your turn. Troll is on the ground.
Troll is on the ground with Arlington beside him.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Well, I want to try again something for the first time. Can I try and use phantasmal force to make it so that the troll thinks that Arlington is on fire and like dangerous, maybe just especially dangerous looking fire, so that he doesn't want to?
Yeah, absolutely. What is the saving throw for that?
That is intelligence saving throw.
Oh, it got a 14, and your spell save is 15, right?
Yeah,
so it fails.
Excellent.
We are slowly building Arlington into some sort of god in the forest. I'm okay with it. Like,
as a bonus action, because I would see that he's probably covered in some poison. Can I cast Healing Word on Arlington?
I don't know if you can, because you cast a spell, Phantasmal Force, as an action. So for bonus action, you can only cast a cantrip.
Okay, gotcha. Never mind.
Yeah, I think, or the other way around.
yeah,
I probably
if you cast a bonus action spell, you could only cast a cantrip the other way around. But yeah. So unfortunately, you can't cast Healing Words because you're sort of wrapped up in the spell of Phantasmal Force. How do you kind of implant this burning bugbear into the troll's mind?
I'm going to use my drawing in a very basic. I'm just going to draw flames and waving them around. It's like, oh, they're everywhere, man. And hope this dum-dum really thinks that it's true. I don't know.
Yeah, and the dum-dum does. Genuine.
Yeah, I'm going to shout, like, Arlington, you are on fire.
Oh, he will be.
Huck sat down at a table drinking from a cup saying, "This is fine." It's all very
Iggy, there's a type of damage if the phantasmal image in the troll's head can do harm, which fire can. What's the type of damage it does?
Well, 1d6 psychic damage.
Oh.
Can logically deal damage such as by attacking, but I was hoping that fire could as well.
Yes, yeah. Well, it is psychic damage, but it does believe it to be fire.
Okay.
And does that take in straight away? I mean, they're kind of very close.
Each round
roll
of my turn, it can do it. So does this count or next turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. Yeah. So roll 1d6.
You just got six psychic.
Nice. Yeah, so the troll, and like the image of this burning bugbear, which is just tearing it to shreds, is forever just like locked into its dum-dum brain.
And I'm just giggling. I'm enjoying this power. Oh.
Anything else you'd like to do in your turn?
That's all good. I'm gonna stay close to the horses in the ruins again.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, smell. It's not overwhelming, but it's not great. I don't know. Maybe you can make it work. Like, the way horse people just sort of have this horse musk around them, and sometimes if they're attractive people, you're like, I'll put up with the manure. They're hot. We've all.
It's getting real specific.
Yes, too specific.
Cool.
It is your turn.
Great. So I am going to, hunched down behind the wall, I'm going to cock my thumb like that. And then I'm going to pounce up and cast, and yell, I know yous are fast enough to avoid this, and cast Fireball at the troll.
Fireball. Okay.
Fireball,
Yeah.
So 20-foot radius. Am I more than 20 feet away?
No. But like your range is actually 120 feet or something.
I'm just making sure I'm not going to hit myself, but that's fine. I've got a wall.
You could place it in a way that doesn't cause damage to your allies if you wanted. I mean, we don't have
space for that. That it won't hit the horses.
Huck is going to try to do that. Yeah, Huck's going to try not kill the horses.
Absolutely. Like, if you think about your setup, you've got the long corridor of your room, and the horses never. I don't know if this picks up on camera, but you're down you start at the back of the room, and the troll's at the entrance. So if you you aim it behind the troll, it would be I'm
going to do that. So I'm going to quickly. Well, I'm jumping up and firing it quickly, but so I'm doing that, firing it out of my finger, yelling "pew" when I fire it. And
it makes a dexterity saving throw.
It has to make a dexterity saving throw, or anyone that gets caught within it has to make a dexterity saving throw, and if they succeed, they get half damage still.
I would say I am standing on this thing.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to make a dexterity saving.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
But I hasted you, so you have advantage.
Oh yeah, you might die.
Yeah, you have advantage. That's why I hasted you first.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm fine. I'm good at this. I'm good at this.
That's why I yelled, I know yous are fast enough to avoid this.
Did you see Iggy's illusion be like, that's not real enough? Set him on fire. I don't believe it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm really stealing your thunder there, yeah.
My fire.
Yeah,
so I mean, there's not much to it. Do you need to know what my spell DC is?
I mean, normally yes, but I know what the troll has rolled, so...
Okay, fine.
But Arlington, you can roll your dexterity saving throw with advantage. Actually, we do need to know for Arlington.
Right, 16.
Okay, so sorry, did you say I get advantage on this?
You do because of the haste.
Right, okay, cool.
Huck is learning to play as a team member.
So that's going to be 10, but because of my shield master feat, I get to add my AC bonus, which makes it a 12.
You also got +2 AC from the haste.
It's not an AC thing, though. It's a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my AC bonus is what I get to add because of haste. Like, I get a +2, so my AC is
right. So whatever
4.
your AC bonus. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's what 12 says 14. What did I have to beat?
16.
16.
And what's Iggy? What's your inspiration? The D6?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my inspiration to try and beat this. It's a 1.
Oh!
Sorry.
Wasn't meant to be.
Because of my shield mastery, I only take half damage from whatever this is.
Okay, great.
Oh, that's good.
It's
Yes.
8d6.
I put everything I had into that. I was like, I'm so good at this. I can't fail.
Yeah. So
well,
what's the damage?
Oh, it's 8d6. I'll have to roll that now.
Yes, yeah.
and
Please
then
roll all the d6s.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping this thing doesn't emit poison after fire damage as well.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping to
I'll be adding some
cauterize
poison
the
damage on
wounds.
top of this.
Oh,
Oh, good.
5
Yeah.
plus 5. Plus
Fortunately,
4.
anytime it takes damage, it sprays out poison.
This is
That's
one
fine.
of the best damage
I
rolls
forgot to
I've
do
ever
it for
done.
I forgot to do it for Rian's arrow. You do take 9 poison damage from Rian's arrow.
9.
Okay.
Oh, what?
Arlington made
Sorry.
Sorry.
That was only 6. 6.
Yeah, but you
damage for him.
hit a poison vein. Just
Oof.
caught just squirting out of it.
Oh, good hell.
Okay.
Arlington,
Oh.
We're really taking Arlington back here.
if you weren't there, this would be one of the best damage rolls I've ever rolled in my life.
Oh, no. Remember me as a player who refused to rage on command.
Okay. Who wants to do the maths with me? I got 5 5s.
Okay.
So that's 25.
Yeah.
And then a 4, a 3, a 3, and a 1, which is 11. So 36 damage, which you can half to 18. And hopefully the troll can't.
18 is exactly how much health I have left. I am on fire and unconscious, but I am definitely still on fire. That's important. Arlington's gonna like lower his shield, Spartan 300 style, and like look away dramatically, and then it just cracks him in the back of the head and like wipes him out.
Arlington, you take 4 poison damage. Are you dead? Are you unconscious already?
I was unconscious from the damage, so I take an extra death save. Fail.
So, yeah, so you fail a saving throw as this hulking on the ground troll just like explodes in hot poison spray.
Oh, we've set the poison on fire.
Well, that's stop it being poisonous.
It's like when there's an oil fire on the ocean. Like.
And it doesn't look. Its wounds are sort of cauterizing over as it's still trying to get up. Of which it is going to get up on its turn.
Oh, I have to roll a wild magic save, by the way.
I think. Sorry, just before the fire hits Arms,
Everything's fine.
Flat in his ass. I think he just whispers, "Father." Oof.
Gross.
This is great. We never get to use healing potions.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we have healing
Is
potions?
the
Oh,
troll?
yeah, we have a healing
Is the
potion.
troll dead?
The troll is not dead, unfortunately.
Wow.
And this is where it brings us to a really difficult moment as a DM, because it's the troll's turn next, and Arlington, who has done the most damage to it,
he'd wail on me, right?
he'd probably wail on you.
Oh, go
He
for
thinks
it. Don't,
he's
don't,
If he's prone,
don't pull any
then
punches.
he might leave. But
Yeah.
Then you talk like I'm not a person that has a million backup characters.
Fair.
hey, I don't want to kill. I don't have killed Arlington.
Neither do I, but if it happens, it happens. I leapt face first into a troll that drips poison.
Yeah.
Fuck.
As the one person who had gone out and found out that he dripped poison.
Yeah, I should have been like, be careful. He's made of poison. It's my weakness.
So Huck, you've used your action. You haven't used your bonus action or your movement.
Okay,
Right.
well, yeah, I haven't used anything else.
Yeah. Arlington is down, looks bad, and this troll is about to get up.
Yeah. I thought there might have been a cantrip that I could use as a bonus action if I needed it, but I can't remember what it was, and I don't think that was a correct thought, to be honest. So, no, I can move towards Arlington, so I can see that he's in trouble. I'm gonna move my full movement towards the troll, yelling,
Okay.
over here, you big stupid lug.
I'm unconscious. I can't hear you.
Continuing to point my fingers at it.
Make a... I'm going to let you choose between performance... Make a charisma-based, like, persuasion, performance, intimidation. Like, to understand your intent, you're trying to get the troll's attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to look at me.
Okay,
So it knows who did that.
Yes.
Okay, well, 21.
Yeah. You're not the most intimidating stature.
Well.
And in its mind, Arlington's still on fire. So as it stands up, and you can see it's just sort of throbbing. It's almost like you can see its pulse through the poison that runs through this creature's veins. It goes to make it goes to run its hand across its own arm and then reconsiders. And goes then to swipe out at you, Huck. Actually, this is a clever feature.
I can do an instant action if you... I have what I
No, Arlington's on fire. It's taken a load of fire damage. I'm going to see how clever this creature is. AKA read as self-persevering. It backs up. It's going to take a claw attack at you, Huck. 4. Give me 1
4
second.
does not hit.
No. 21.
Yes, definitely hits.
All right.
But I can do a reaction.
Sure.
Of shield.
And does that bring your AC up to 21?
Probably not. So let's.
Right, it's going to take another.
It's so rare that I do it. I think shield only gives me +5, so it does not bring me up to yet.
It takes another claw attack at you for 10, which I presume miss.
Yeah, misses. Yeah.
And with its dripping poison maw, just goes for one final attack to try to chomp down on your head. For natty 1. Not great. So just eat some of that ground. That ground takes 25 damage. That ground is dead.
Ground is taking a
already wounded from the vicious attack from Rain. So only one claw attack hits, which is this and this. Yeah. You take those moves out of your sight.
Troll doesn't.
Go ahead.
Go on.
I might have rolled in my count. I might have rolled too many dice. Yes, and the last one was a 5.
7, 8, 9.
So 2.5 more health to Arlington, and 5 more health to the troll. Sorry.
Okay. No, that's good. How much over were you on the fireball, Arlington? It was just exactly, right?
It was exact, but I kind of like the fiction of Arlington being burnt to a crisp.
Fair enough. Because I'm saying you could have one death save theoretically back, because the poison damage would have knocked you unconscious, not taken away death save.
As a player, that sounds great. Considering we're making a show, I like the tension.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. That was some life-saving actions by Huck, diving in the face of danger. Arlington, you'll never know, because he's definitely won't rub it in your face from now on.
So,
but yeah, that was pretty clutch. So
the troll has moved down towards Huck, correct?
Moved out of the room. It's kind of backing up. It's doing a sort of like just lumbering, like leaping. If you imagine like reverse sneaking in a lumbering, disgusting, bulbous creature, it's doing.
Yeah. And Where is Arlington in relation to the troll?
Arlington is exactly where the troll was, where you were firing your bow. You can see Arlington on the ground.
So I'd have to kind of go around the troll to get to Arlington.
You could climb back over the wall. Oh, Huck, make a Constitution check.
Oh yeah.
Concentration check based on your spell.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But you could climb over the wall to get to Arlington. You don't have to go around through the entrance of the room.
I will go around through the entrance of the room and attack the troll while I do. So I don't think I'm flanking with anyone, am I?
No.
No, but because we're 1-on-1, I get sneak attack if it hits.
Sure do.
Which it should, if it's 22. I don't know about you. Excellent. So I'd attack the troll, kind of like running around the entrance, slicing or kind of jabbing the troll as I go by.
Mm-hmm.
4, 9, 11, 12, and 5 is 17 damage.
Nice. You run up to this troll and you slice right through it. And if this troll was a delicious blueberry sour, which is kind of what this poison is making you think of, and your friendly local bartender served it up in your favorite glass, how would you want to down that?
I suppose as I'm running by and it's so big and I'm so small, I suppose I'm kind of taking it out at the ankles, so kind of just slicing through its tendon and then maybe driving a short sword into its heart, head, whatever. Let's go head.
Yeah. It slices and it stumbles down on one knee and then just like down to the side. Huck, stop me if you didn't get that concentration check over the damage. What did you get?
Yeah, I rolled a 12. So what do I add for
you're fine.
Yeah,
you're good. Yeah, it was only because theoretically Rian would have to spend around stunned. But we're fine. The narrative continues. And the troll leads down and poof, onto the ground. You just plunge your sword into it. Are you leaving your sword there, or what's the story?
If I'm still in haste and that was one attack, I think I'd leave my sword there and run to Arlington with the health potion.
Cool. Yeah. You sprint over to Arlington. I use item as one of your hasted potential actions.
Yes.
Yeah, I think use object.
Yeah. And what you shouldn't do at parties when your friends are having too much fun, but what you should do in this game when there's a health potion, you throw that delicious ale into his mouth. And just
this man needs more drinks. He's passed out.
Consent is important, people. But
I was about to say, laboured breaths. I consent. I want this.
Roll. I think it's 1d4 plus 2, 2d4 plus 2, whatever. This is such a basic D&D thing, and normally I have a screen in front of me which just has it written on it.
What kind of health potion was it?
Basic health potion. I think it's a basic one.
That's all Google. It's 2d4 plus 2.
Yeah, 2d4
gives me chance to find a d4 in my many bags of dice. Did I throw them all away? Maybe I did.
You can roll a d8
that way.
Of all the dice to throw, d4 is the one you'd use for self-defense. It's like a small arrowhead.
Yeah. Oh. Yes. Okay, fuck it. I'll just do this one twice. That's a 1. That's a 2. So that's 3 plus 2. That's 5.
Nice. I will take... Well, yeah. So am I up to 4 health, or how does that work?
It's 5 plus
5.
5.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, you're up to 5 health.
I'll take it.
Life flows through you. The delicious ichor of, a pint of plain is what was when it was your only man. It was poured down your gullet. It sprung you back to... It's like Tommy Finnegan's Wake with whiskey. A classic Clancy Brothers song. So it wasn't. It was Ishkabaha, the water of life. That's what our potions should be. Amazing.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
write that down.
Yeah, a little nagging of whiskey got thrown down your gullet.
As life beats back into Arlington's chest, I'm going to grab Rian by the lapels? I don't know, collar. It's like, I'm sorry! And swirl around to see if the troll is still alive, which, is it moving?
Rian, that is the end of your turn. Troll is slumped down dead, swords plunged into the back of its head.
Oh my god. Slumped down. completely flat.
Iggy, you're up next.
So we're still in initiative?
No, you don't have to be. It's just if you want to do something, then it's your turn.
Oh well, no. I would probably I would run over and try and cast Healing Word on Arlington.
Nice.
I think we can probably hang on to the spell slot. If we're not in immediate danger, if we're out of combat, I can probably better to hang on to those spell slots. They're probably more valuable.
Take a rest. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well then I'm just going to run over to Arlington and go. And almost poison now.
Aren't we about to rest? She'll get her spell slots back.
That's very
Yes.
fair.
It's nighttime.
So you guys fall out of initiative, sweating.
Arlington,
And-
so sorry.
I ate so much poison.
I thought you could take it. I made you quicker so you could dodge the ball. That was the deal.
Oh, it was good. I tasted the horizon. Its touch graced my skin, and I'll never know a feeling like it. But I ate so much poison. It burns the whole time.
I saw it going in your mouth. That was a bad move, man.
It was really
You should
bad.
not have eaten that poison.
Oh, I thought it would, sort of like an anti-venom, but it's just more poison.
Just venom. Yeah.
And not blueberries at all. Like it's what it looked
No,
like.
which I thought it would taste like. It looked like it would taste like blueberries.
Probably not a good time to bring it up, but when the haste goes, they're all going to be wrecked for a round.
I am
Basically,
so
with 6
tired.
seconds, just
I
exhausted.
Yeah, it's what 1 point of exhaustion, is it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, it says you're exhausted for a round. I think. Let me reread it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 6 seconds. You just
So 6
catch your
seconds.
breath for 6 seconds.
Yeah, 6 seconds. You just
Oh,
can't-
I thought you were
you
like
lose an action if a wave of lethargy sweeps over you.
Oh, I always thought it was like a full point of exhaustion. That's not too bad. That's complete.
Yeah, it just says
No, that's not- that's not.
until after its next turn.
Okay.
So you might lose 2 turns if that's.
I'd say, yeah, I'd say Arlington is like down, like post drugs down. Like he's seen colors he never knew existed, and now he's in a dark cave covered like with a dead monster. It's like,
Oh,
Get that man some electrolytes.
does anyone have a banana? Or
Yeah, grab whatever maybe food that we had been making and just bring it to you. Some water, some light, perhaps.
thank you, Iggy.
Oh, I have lost. Maybe it's just me that's gone.
Oh yeah, we can see you, or I can see you.
yeah, we're good.
Yeah, you're up.
Cool.
I think Ben's just saying he's lost interest in what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Like we got a break. You're on the brink of death. God.
Yeah.
But well, do you think we can stay here? Is this safe? Are the horses safe? I don't.
Well, it was the only thing around that Arlington found. It's probably killed or scared off most other things. Anything with any half a brain
I was-
would have run away.
I agree. Yes, it seems like this one's king of the forest. Or,
Could we-
or king of this particular area?
this region of the forest, yes. This province. Could we somehow set it
Duke
up
of
as
this.
yes, the Duke of this particular realm, but
Area.
not the King of the Kingdom? Yes. Could we perhaps set it up as a warning to other monsters? Don't step to us, homie. That sort of thing.
Interestingly enough, as you go over to the troll and to fetch your sword, it's not there.
His sword or the troll?
My sword.
Both.
Oh, that's much worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh damn! That was my favorite sword.
It doesn't take any sort of roll to see just this kind of slime of poison. You can even tell the slime is somewhat sheepish, retreating into the forest.
Okay, I was gonna say I think we can track him.
Yeah,
You could if you wanted to.
I would like to.
I don't know, Arlington. You might need to sit this one out.
No,
Arlington stands up immediately. He's like, we must recover Rian's sword, and then collapse immediately as soon as I put weight on a leg.
Is there anything to be said for hopping on our horses and running in the opposite direction?
It's in my throat. Sorry, you were saying something.
Are you gonna go after? Is Rian gonna? What's?
No. I think that sword is actually not any. I like it's not Fragorok.
Oh, okay.
So, like, I think
I thought it was.
would
Okay.
be
I was like, you're taking this very well.
Okay, losing it. No. So, in which case, I'd say let's let the troll go and do what we plan to do, which is rest in this little ruin.
Okay.
Ben, do I know anything about trolls? Fiona, why?
Yeah, roll a nature check. Yeah, and roll with advantage because you're part of the Fianna.
Cool. I think that's an 18. Oh, 19.
You're aware, and it was almost as if
nature.
Yeah, that's you were aware, and it's almost as if like it's not like it's top of mind, but in the same way that you sort of know your way around your hometown, it was instinct to cast like fire-based spells against this troll because you know that they naturally regenerate, and unless you kind of attack it with fire, and you're kind of thinking back and you go, ooh, although I did attack it with fire, I think it wasn't dead. So because it wasn't dead, and the next thing that kind of hit it was steel, it was able to regenerate, and it just seems to have it's been brought back to life, and it's shrunk away. You know them not to be like. There's stories of trolls that you tell to kids, which is like they're ferocious, they'll hunt you down, they're dum-dums, which is why Iggy knows the name dum-dum for trolls. It's Elvish, and
she's very
but
knowledgeable.
they do
like
have
the
a
least
sense of
musical Elvish
self-preservation.
word I've ever heard.
Dum-dum.
Dum-dum.
So they have a sense of self-preservation, and you get the feeling that once you kind of bested it, and it wasn't, and it noticed that you guys were a little bit preoccupied with bringing your fallen brethren, back to full health, that it was able to sneak away. But it's also not that smart. It probably doesn't know that there's a sword stuck in the back of its head. So it's just wandering now, and its brain matter is just forming around this sword. It'll just be a cool hat. This hilt is just a cool hat in its head. Easy to spot if you ever come across this troll again. It's the one with the sword in their head.
I mean, yeah, we've just tagged it and released it.
I mean, depending on if it goes into a cave of any kind, depending on the height of the cave, it might.
Yeah. It'll be like,
the
like a
sword.
cat's whiskers. He knows which caves are too small for him to even try.
Because the sword cuts halfway through his head when he.
I can't wait for the video to come up on YouTube 10 years later when we see him in the wild and he remembers us and he comes running up to us as the people who tried to kill him. But still,
lads, I wasn't really thinking about it at the
Homer
time.
Simpson getting the crayon in the nose. He's suddenly a genius.
It's got me
It's been knighted. It's now Sir Troll.
Perfect.
okay.
So your plan is to kind of to take a long rest.
I would love a long rest. Yeah.
You set up camp. You ease down the courses. We're gonna take our break now, but we don't have to go. You don't have to go Betty Buys just yet. If you want to come back in after the break and it's still night time, up to you guys. But if you want to come back in and it's morning time, just let me know over the break, and we'll jump in there. We'll do a little chatting. Sorry, actual chat and our audience and fans. You don't get to see this behind the scenes. Is it night or is it morning? It's thrilling stuff. But we're going to take our halfway break here. Again, if you want to support the show, please do tell a friend, tell your family, especially anyone who's not really, you don't have to play tabletop roleplay, I think, to enjoy this nonsense. I think just the general aspect of collective storytelling and coming up with stuff on the spot, improving, some people might say, is kind of entertaining, I would hope. So maybe this is their entryway into a game of fun, ridiculous fun. So tell a friend, follow us on the social channels at Homebrew Quest. We will see you back here in about 15 minutes.
Follow and subscribe on YouTube, always important.
Oh, yeah, do those things. Now that we're exclusively on YouTube, hit those subscribe buttons, smash those bells, do all the things that YouTubers tell you to do.
Watch all our old videos. There's playlists of the entire series. We've got playlists of clips from the show. We've got playlists of some of the separate one-shots. It's all collected everywhere. And likes, shares, all of that shit. All that good stuff.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Actually, before we go, and if you're going, just hit that little thumbs up on the YouTube. That'd be really handy. Because that's good for us, and it's a good way of supporting what is essentially, I wouldn't call it entertainment, but it's free, not nothing.
Certainly,
what else do you do?
It's better. Tell you what, better than reading. Reading's boring.
Reading is boring.
Could be stuck reading a book.
And then that's already reading a book.
We're basically shouting into the void. You can say if
We'll
you
be
like
back in
it.
15 minutes. Tech, if you want to just cut those mics, cut those feeds, just let these nonsense spinners feed into them, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Paul loves when you call him Tech.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to Homebrew, Part 2. The plot. No, I'm kidding. There's plot all through this thing. Thank you so much for watching. If you're jumping in now, it's a whole Part 1 that you can watch at a later date. But don't worry, the guys fought a Venom Troll and barely escaped with their lives. If you've probably done all the things we talked about before taking a break, like liking, subscribing, following us on socials, so I won't labor that point. I don't think there's anything else that we need to talk about. Of course, if you're buying handcrafted dice trays, towers, and sets, Homebrew10 is the promo code for cutirish.com. And get in touch with us. Join our Discord channel. It's a good place. You know, we only do this every 2 weeks, but we're live the other 13 days and chat to people who like the show about and like tabletop role-playing games and also like beers. Wow. Nerdy things, white nerdy thing and white nerdy thing in a classic crossover. That's us. We're the bearded white dudes who like craft beer and tabletop and Lucy.
Do we like Lucy?
I'm joking. I'm japing. So we promised that we'd talk about whether it was morning or night over the break, and we talked about films.
And the audience has been waiting with bated breath. How did they sleep?
But what we did discuss is that as Huck's Puck sort of carve out a little part of this ruin, still a little wary that this troll might come back, but you gave it a hell of a licking. And you know, it does remember that you were going to sacrifice one of your own to kill it. So you're pretty badass. Like you don't pull punches unlike certain DMs. So I kid. The night's setting in, it's kind of late evening, late night. We decided over the break that first watch would be Iggy and Huck. Mm-hmm. And then second watch would be Rian and Arlington. With the secret that Arlington's a little sleepy. Don't wake his sweet zzzing bugbear state. Don't let sleeping bugbears lie, as they all say. So as night falls, slow me down if you want to do anything. But as night falls, and I think we talked last episode that you're setting up a fire. That plan is probably remaining the same, given that Huck does know that fire, isn't good for trolls. Probably going to keep it at bay if there's a roaring fire.
Yeah, we put it out last time, I think, because we were afraid of it.
Yes, yeah. You just flint, stone, steel, whatever, however the cool thing is, strikes it back up.
Firebolt.
Pew pew. It's flaming again. You get some hot food. You don't get any fresh game, but that's okay. You're adventurers. You're happy with your Trek bars, your trackers, your Chewy Oats, your trail mix. And the night rolls in. Is there anything you guys would like to do on your watch?
I'm just terrified. Izzy has forgotten her own name. She's so freaked out. She's just like totally on edge, like and kind of jumping at everything, and like reacting as if she has weapons in her hands. She doesn't. But yeah.
Fair.
Maybe a feverish watch.
I would normally try to calm her down, but Huck is feeling down from having almost killed his friend, so he's also jumpy.
This battle has taken a
didn't almost kill her.
As far as he's concerned, he thought he was going to be grand. This is the first time he's seen Arlington take quite a knock from any of his spells, so Huck is a little shook. But probably quiet.
Not to lean too hard into Huck's guilt, but I'd say as Arlington is passed out asleep, his breath is a little bit ragged, little rougher than normal.
No. Rattle. I don't want to rattle.
Yeah, rattled, yeah. It's rattled. That rattler breath.
Your watch passes without incident.
God.
And you kind of took her down. Reen, you're sort of by yourself, as you whisperedly mentioned, with like, don't wake Arlington, just let him sleep. He needs all the rest he can get, etc., etc. Anything you got. And anything you'd like to do?
I suppose since I lost my short sword, I would sharpen Fragorock, take out a whetstone or just kind of anything and just start sharpening that. I know that it was shrinking for a couple of episodes from a long sword to a short sword. Whereabouts is it now?
Speaking of, as you start sharpening the sword and you're kind of running a whetstone along it, make a wisdom saving throw.
A wisdom saving throw. Oh, yikes. Here we go.
We get to pick.
is a 10.
Yeah, you find yourself sort of in a waking dream. So unlike dreams in which you find yourself simply to be, as dreams often do, this time you just kind of find yourself daydreaming. It doesn't really distract you, and you kind of start imagining all the previous owners of this sword. Like, this is one of these weapons of legend. It was found in Lobo's ruin, who was one of a mighty Fina warrior. But you know that it was passed down through the Fina. And you're beginning to understand that it sort of adapts itself to the fighter as a connection grows. And as your imagination drifts, you find yourself standing in front of three brothers, Macquill, Maciet, and Macrania. And you're not Rian. You're this imagined warrior called Lou Lavada. And you're like, oh, this was that dream I had when I was kind of king of Hibernia and kind of making judgment calls and allowing the elves to come in to settle. This is who I am. And you look at these three brothers in front of you, and it kind of comes in little, as the pieces of the puzzle start to form in your mind. You're like, oh, I killed their father. Their father had an affair with my wife. And now they're here to enact their revenge. And because you're not necessarily in the dream you might act a little bit different, but you're sort of just playing it out in this kind of theater of the mind, like this game is. You know this is your end. You know this is how Lou Lavada, which is you and not you, because you're still kind of observing from a distance. This is how you die. But how you go out is still up to you. So how do you imagine, faced with three brothers, after a long and sort of prosperous reign, Lou Lavada would kind of, pass away?
What kind of king was Lou Lavada?
He was renowned for his aptitude at almost everything, like a kind of boisterous young boy hero who bested all his peers in pretty much any test of skill. A warrior king, but also when peace was reigning, it was, it wasn't like you were bloodthirsty. You were happy that your people were happy, and you were able to fight and kind of keep off any invaders. But at the same time, land prospering is a good thing.
Sorry, I missed that last bit then. You kind of broke up.
Sorry. Although you were, a warrior of your own might, the idea of a prosperous land and a happy people, there was other ways to kind of test that skill through sports, athleticism. So you wouldn't necessarily seek out violence. You would just know how to defend yourself when and where. Okay.
And would I know, having killed their father, that it was kind of an unjust thing to do? Or, like, did they have a right, or is there a sense of fairness in them coming to kill me?
In a way, it's kind of a cycle of, as with the histories of Hibernia often are, it's, although you had a right to kill their father for, sleeping with your wife, and for that kind of mistrust, because you are also king, and it's, that in itself is treason, they have a right for patricide. So it's kind of like two wrongs in this situation very much continue to do wrong and right and wrong and right, and so are kind of the stories of Hibernia go on. No one in the land will question it, I guess. They'll go, oh yeah.
Long, prosperous reign, warlike, had the right to kill the father, though it's kind of fair. I suppose I draw my sword to defend myself.
Sure. Roll an attack roll.
Yeah. Do I add anything to it, or just straight up and down?
Yeah, add +5.
That's 20.
20. These three brothers all unsheath their swords, and you are with ease are able to kind of parry and deflect every one of their strikes, and even when they do nick you, even Fraggle Rock, which you have in your hand, is as quick as the wind. So for every strike they land on you, you're able to equally hit one back. You're able to move with the sort of gust of wind behind you. And there's this power in the sword that sometimes when you land, strong and forceful blows, it knocks them back with a gust of wind. So you're able to kind of keep them at bay. But little by little, variations of your death, and you kind of flash back to Rian, and you're just not shining, you're polishing. You got your sheen out, you're polishing a sword. That's what makes it more effective, how shiny it is. As you're sharpening your sword, variations of your death flash before your eyes. In one, you're speared through this foot. In another, you're drowned in a lake. Sometimes both. Speared, drowned. In one dream, one clean swipe removes your head from your shoulders. And when you're picturing that, and in this instance, that's how you die, you don't drift away from this memory. You should. You feel like you should. But headless, you slump to your knees. And as Rian, and this is the first time this has happened, you've never been outside of a body in such a way. Fraggle hums gently in your hands as it wants to bring your attention to something. And it draws your attention to a small shoot, a small little spout growing from the neck of Lulavada. And the roots of a tree start to take shape, and they grow and grow and grow. And in the way that dreams make sense and don't, these branches stretch across the entire world. And you can see this picture in your mind of the roots deep into the earth and the branches high up in the sky, all curling into one sort of image of life. And as this tree takes shape in your mind, its branches stretching to the most western point, the eastern point, north and south, with no room left to grow, the leaves of this tree drop and they float through the air and they turn to waves. And you feel the presence of a god with you as you're holding the sword. You feel the presence of Manon MacLear, the god of nature and the god of the sea. And with you and the sword, it carries you. And suddenly now you're in it. And it washes you up at the feet of a small wolf cub. And the cub looks at you expectantly. You stand. You're no longer Lou. In this moment, you are Rian. And you've very much just rescinded into your own mind. And the wolf cub pads forward. And as it does, it grows in size, larger and larger, until before you stands an adult, sort of adolescence wolf. And it's standing over Fraggle. Its eyes are pinned on yours. And it's waiting for you to do something.
Like to reach over the wolf and kind of pet its head.
Mm-hmm. It bares its teeth a little bit as you stretch. It's uneasy. Make an animal handling check.
Oh, I'm no good at that.
That's all right.
Actually, no, I'm not bad at that.
Huh.
That's a 16.
Your movement slows, and it's standing over Fraggle Rock. And as you sort of pull back and wait, you realize it's doing what young pups sometimes do, which is not necessarily standing its ground, but testing its boundaries. Will you let it get away with this act of defiance? And you reach and put your hand on its head, almost to the point where it's like it's loving, it's caring, but you also have your hand at the back of its scruff. There's a sense of, well, you know, this is my sword, this is my life, this is my possession. You bow to me no longer than I bow to you. And as you have this moment, and as this wolf stands eyes up into you, it leaps towards you, and you don't stop it. It leaps into you, and you come to, and Fraggle Rock is a short sword.
Oh.
It has awakened, and as such, and let me get the little stats up here. It is now a +2 sword instead of +1.
Very nice.
And you have an ability called Retaliate. So while you use the sword, you can use a reaction to make a melee attack against any creature that deals damage to you.
Wow,
That's pretty fucking good.
that's good.
Excellent. That's pretty good.
And yeah, that's. Is there anything else to that?
It turns out you're the Black Hound.
You are the hound itself, and you get the feeling that you've both not absorbed. Absorbed is a weird Dragon Ball Z Cell term. but you've come to an understanding both of Lou Lavada and of Lobo, the lone wolf. It's taught you that although you should strike hard, strike fast, and show no mercy like a Cobra Kai, that staying your hand and having the kind of wisdom of a king is important before you wield power such like this. And in your dreams, in both showing mercy to that satyr tied to the rock, showing wisdom and welcome to the elves, and standing your ground when ground needs to be standed, you've kind of proven yourself in all three tests. And there wasn't much of a test with Lobo, just that you come to an understanding with them. Which is by Wicklow Wolf, a local Wicklow brewery who creates a delicious beer called Lobo, hence the name of the Fenian Warrior. I don't think anyone has a beer called Lou Lavada, but Lavada is a great name for a beer. Long arm. So,
just to clarify, the myth came first, not the beer.
Well, Lobo isn't part of Irish mythology, I don't think. But Lou Lavada definitely is. Lou was like our Hercules, our sort of Goku Superman character, brilliant at everything and terrible at nothing. And boy, does it make for problematic mythology, because it's like, and how does he die? No one knows. Do
you know who did it very well? It's, I'll try not to get into spoilers or whatever, but American Gods do a very cool Lou. They do him in the Amazon series in particular. They make him look like a fucking badass. It's very cool.
They call them toilets over there.
They do call them toilets over there.
Yeah. Good old WC, the best character in one of my favorite Irish mythology, Irish gods, one of the two of the Danon, I believe. So you have Ragnarok is now fully short sworded in your.
Excellent.
Is there anything like we described it initially as having this sort of wooden handle, sort of simple leather bindings around it, and this sort of like professionally, like masterfully made with these runes carved across it, but like very simple. Is there anything now that you feel like you've kind of more ownership over this, that you change in its design? You have an ability now to kind of shape it as you wish.
Anything that change in its design?
Give the sword a mustache.
Yeah. Its hilt is a little mustache.
Fair.
Love that.
Just note to self, when it comes to Arlington's stuff, do not hand control over to the players. Yeah, fair enough. It's hilt as a tiny.
I think if nothing else, I've now earned that when the next time something cool happens to Arlington, it's completely open to the floor.
Yeah.
He has a baboon arse. He has a red arse of a baboon.
Your shield makes your dick smaller. No.
Right. I did not expect to do that on this episode, but sure, what a delight. Your watch passes without incident, of course, aside from the fucking life-changing
incident. That's a huge fucking incident. Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't have seen it if it was an incident.
You don't want to be the next morning, guys, I had this amazing dream. No one wants to hear about your dreams. Dreams are boring.
No.
Guys, I just opened an Etsy store.
Just been sanding it down. That's what they think.
It's a short sword now.
Smacking it against your face.
Just sharpening it so much.
Morning comes. It's a delightful morning. There's a little bit of dew on the grass around you. You pretty much pack up your things and get ready to continue your journey north.
Yeah.
We do.
You make your way back onto the main road built by the Clockwork Tangerine. And again, when you ride onto it, it's like you push through some of the overgrown plants and sort of incredible vines and flowers that are built around it. Even overnight, there seems to be like what you cut through to get into this ruin is now regrown, and you have to kind of push it aside again. And you continue your journey.
I'm definitely keeping an eye out for any like poisoned trails or poison shit brushed up against trees or any sign of that troll.
Yeah, interesting enough, you do a little bit of scouting around in the morning time, potentially to make up. You feel bad about not having a watch, so you're like, well, I'm going to double down on how I have it. And the troll has gone in the opposite direction to the road.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
He scares me.
Lick its wounds with the sinister 6 of other NPCs you've since bested but left alive.
Yeah, there's probably nothing else of any danger out there, so that's good.
Oh, Hibernia notoriously is a safe place to live.
Mhm.
Yeah. Hence all the adventurers around. You're not the only 4 that exist in this world. You continue your ride north in the morning time. It's busy. You're still getting the merchants on their way into Dreht. You're surprised, actually, that they're this far out. But then again, it makes sense. You haven't come across any other villages, so they must be coming from some small little hamlets nearby.
Commuter
nice... Yeah, they're on their commuter wagons, just like those things you put kids on to keep them entertained in shit towns. They ride past in wagons, ready to sell their wares. All manner of folks, humans, elves, all manner. And you continue north, and you're making your way through just kind of a light smell of lavender in the air. It's nice. You get that wild garlic coming in. There is a pleasant noise. There's a pleasant noise of life. Like, it's not dead silent, which is comforting, because your previous day ride was, because you were in the middle of the day and it was sort of empty, it was a little bit eerie, but there's a sense of opportunity and positiveness to here. You all feel pretty good about the day. Some a little worse than others, but after a long rest, you're back to full health. You got your spell slots, whatever they are. You feel good. And you keep riding. An hour passes.
How are the horses actually after the evening's activities? Are they shaken, or are they fairly same as before? They're used to battle and shit, I guess.
Yeah, they're not too bad. They're still not comfortable with you, but at the very least they didn't bolt during the night. They seem reliable, but I mean, if you want to make like a insight or animal handling.
Sure. Yeah, I'll just do insight. I'm kind of
Are the horses? Is one of them the troll in a costume? That's fine.
Make an investigation check.
That would be so good. He's just wearing the skin of the horse. That's a 3 for me, so I might. Yeah. I wouldn't know if it was.
Iggy, you realize that you've been riding atop your horse, and instead of the reins you normally use, it's just a sword that you're holding onto. It feels fine. It's just stuck into your horse's head. Nothing weird here.
Yeah.
No, your horses are all fine. In fact, they seem a little bit better and full of life. You get the feeling that they didn't get a lot of field time, a lot of kind of out and aboutness. Rain, your horse still stinks like high heavens.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Your horse is still one day away from retirement. Every day, ready to bring out that cake and that fancy watch, but not today, horsey. Yeah, they're all fine. You keep riding, a couple hours pass, kind of gets into late morning, mid-afternoon. You go through open road with some trees and forests nearby, and then into your kind of tunnels as these branches kind of grow over. It seems to be just a mix of, enclosed hedges. More like, if you're picturing something like the dark hedges up in Northern Ireland, it's more than that. Like, they're full of leaves, full of growth. So it's like it gets dark. And those of you with dark vision are able to see fairly clear. Couple of run-ins with a couple of merchants that, like, it's that classic thing of you don't really expect to bump into someone and you're like, oh, sorry, no, we're all good, don't worry about us. And some of the more kind of eagle-eyed ones are giving a couple of side glances to Arlington. Obviously, it's a little bit unusual that such a hulking form is riding. You have an unusual company, but no one stops long enough to talk.
Can we ask if any of them know where the dead village is, or the birch
Yeah.
tree? Give us an indication if they've heard tell of it.
Make
there,
a
travelers.
yeah. So you a little gnome riding atop a little kind of like small cart full of seemingly like trinkets and unusual creation stops. Yeah.
Have you heard, Ken? Have you heard tell of any kind of a dead village near here? Some kind of birch tree or anything?
Dead village, a birch tree. I think's back. Dead village, no. But birch tree, aye.
It's adorable.
You know the O'Sullivans?
I don't.
Ken. He
I-
means you can.
Well, before you get to the O'Sullivan's farm, which is just up the way,
Okay.
and you know the red bush.
I don't. I'm not
After the
from
red
around
bush.
here. After the red bush.
Oh, okay. Well, after the red bush, before the O'Sullivan's farm, it's not the first left you take,
Okay.
and it's not the second left,
Grant.
but there is a bunch of birch trees on your right, third right up the road.
Okay. A bunch, you say?
Yeah, just kind of a small little, like a. Do you know goats?
I can a goat. Yeah.
So a wee little goat path off there. Now, whatever you do, just up there, past the red bush, before the O'Sullivan. If you've reached the O'Sullivan's farm, you've gone too far.
Okay.
So turn around and come back. And in which case, change your directions too, because you'd be going right, but then you'd be going left.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do ken directions.
So not your first left, not your second left, third right,
Third right.
up the road. Yeah.
Can I say these are very confusing ways to give directions?
Well, if you know the local landmarks, then you'd be following them.
Yes. Okay. I see. Right.
Yeah,
It's on
yeah.
me.
Well, it would be. Yeah, you're the one who needs to go somewhere, right?
Yeah.
I didn't leave my house today without a map. That's you, young one.
And it's a bunch of birch trees you're giving me directions to. Not
Well,
a birch tree on its own anywhere.
Can I
No.
follow his directions by looking at the Lair Skalax?
It's kind of topography. So no.
It wouldn't be specific enough. Like
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
don't
kind of
get
trying
little
to
legends
as
about
he's
the
as
tree.
he's talking, I'm trying to like look at the axe and see like
How far did we say the axe was? It's pretty far up. Like you're getting like an ordnance survey kind of map of the land, right?
it's like a topological map for 1,000 feet around.
Interestingly enough, the roads aren't on your map.
Right.
Yeah.
We've had this issue before.
Yeah. The roads are too new for your map to. It needs a software update. Put the roads on there. Maybe a dwarven smith might be able to encharm it in such a way that a new map's on there. You're kind of following an old sat nav.
Cool.
So anyway, so third right. It's not a singular birch tree, but there's a sense of birch about the place. So when there's a
Great. Well, that's more than we had.
Are there any ruins around this birch tree or anything?
ruin. Well, there's a ruin back in the village I come from, but ruin wouldn't be walking down these streets at this time of day.
No.
Ruins not a word here.
Or something that you might think like a ruined village.
A ruined village. Well, listen, tell you, we ruined a village last week after a game of hurling, so you might be looking for them.
Sure, we've all been there.
love this. No.
It's great.
That's the ruin of the village of Siren up the way.
I've heard the call of siren before.
I somehow want to go there more now.
Yeah, same.
I wouldn't. If you really want to go somewhere, go to my village, Broken Dreams.
Yeah, that's a much more appealing. Small man.
Just shot down these two rival villages I just made up, Broken Dreams and Siren. They're like our Springfield and Shelbyville of this land.
Our MacGuffin for this campaign just became making county. Like,
So it's go down the road past the red bush and then the third right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And when there's a sense of birch around you, you're taking that goat path towards and then there'll be a row of birches, and you follow that. And that's probably, I don't know of a dead village, and I don't know of a solitary birch, but that's probably where you'll be going.
Okay, great. Well, I mean, that's something. You've been very helpful. And I chuck him a gold coin.
He was about to cough to imply it, and then his cough time was,
Yeah, I'll take that. I have 24 gold, so I'll chuck him 1 gold coin.
nice.
For your troubles, pal.
He bites on it and goes, I don't know why people do that, but it seems cool when I see it.
It's to check if it's actually soft.
And with a gold in his pocket and in his heart, he goes, well, that's more than I was going to make today. And he turns around to the village of Broken Dreams and says, it's been a good week for me.
Yeah.
Does that mean that we're essentially riding in the same direction as him? Because that's going to be awkward.
yeah.
Because I kind of don't want to. I don't want to.
I'll see you.
Yeah. Huck loves being friends with people, but he doesn't want to continue talking to this guy.
How does Huck feel about gnomes in general?
Oh yeah, pretty good. They're a bit small, You know, it's weird. Not normal height, like a halfling.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So yeah, there's an awkward moment where you have to sort of overtake them. Well, just keep going there. Just keep going. And you continue riding north along the road.
Okay, great.
We follow these.
He seemed surprisingly helpful. Directions to a birch. You can't ask for better than that, I suppose.
Oh, people in this area, out in away from the cities, are very friendly.
Ah, yes, these rural idiots are truly very, very kind.
And it's multiple
Such noble-hearted dimwits. Honorable fools.
I would normally defend people, but he was a bit of a piece of work, that lad.
There's some old
What
lad.
did he do to offend you, Huck?
Oh, sure, nothing, but I mean, it took him ages, and the directions were just past the red bush, third right. He kept saying, not the first left, not the second left, but the third right. I mean, that's a weird way of giving directions.
It's almost as though he was obfuscating or directly trying to confuse you.
Exactly.
Maybe we should go see what's down those lefts. I mean, they sound pretty cool.
Aye, that's true.
Yes, what's he keeping
entirely
down those
different
lefts that he doesn't want us to see?
Or to that is Sullivan's farm.
Yes.
Maybe that's where the dead village is.
You're right, Iggy. He was a bit too friendly for my liking now that I think about it. We can trust no one.
Suspiciously
We
so.
all, remember, we were all very excited about the birch tree mission. I remember us all saying, let's do the birch tree mission. It's very exciting. And we should stay the course.
Huck, lift your bloody curse. Let's keep going.
Fine.
I'm a bit testy. I died about 12 hours ago, and I'm still not quite.
I was there, and I feel bad about that, but you promised
you
you'd be able to
remember
dodge
it,
it.
don't you? Because it was. I mean, you murdered me. You remember that?
That's a little heavy-handed now, Arlington.
The tension, I could cut it with a knife. Oh, this is... Yeah, I think maybe you guys should go to some sort of counselling talk about this more, you know. Oh.
I'd go anywhere with Arlington and have a chat.
Because maybe it's a little passive-aggressive of you to fireball him in that way. Maybe.
I dinna ken passive-aggressive. That seems like fancy elf words.
We can work through these issues another time. So it was the fourth left, yes?
No, the third right. If there's anything I'm sure of, it's that it was the third right past the red bush. Now let's hope the red bush is clear. Because if it's just some kind of green bush that was once red and they all call it the red bush or something like that, then I'll be be awful angry.
Okay, I'll follow your...
Yeah, I'll follow. Huck seems to know.
Yeah.
You ride through...
I'm certainly confident that I know.
You ride through kind of an afternoon shower. It passes kind of without cause for concern. Just a classic sort of flash shower of Hibernia. And you come across a small little sort of roadside outpost. And on it is the red bush. It seems to be like a little tavern, just a small little kind of single cottage. And its straw has sort of dyed this crimson red.
It's thatched then.
Yes. Yeah, its straw has dyed. Thatched would be the word.
It's
got a thatched roof.
We're focused on the birch. We shouldn't get a drink now? Birch.
It's always good to stop in an inn when you pass one and have a wee rest.
A good source of information about the local flora and fauna.
Exactly.
And we should support local custom.
And hey, we've to celebrate that Rian's sword fits him now. That's as good a reason as any to have a drink.
Yeah, I think you sharpened it too much there, Rian. It's gotten all small.
Yes, I don't think I can sharpen it anymore.
I know it should be
down to a nub.
Yeah, kind of wrecked it, I suppose.
There's an odd whistling through the air, like a. It's like hard to, and you're looking around. The bushes aren't moving. Just,
Are you trying to sing a song again, Arlington?
That's not me.
And you all glance up, and like you spot like 3 large cats.
Cats?
In the sky?
Cats. Like falling from the sky.
shield up immediately.
How big are
Like,
they? Do they look like
stretched out.
small enough that I could try and catch the one? Like a small cat or a big cat?
Like, hard to tell if it's far away or small.
Wait. I think I've heard of these before. Gavin has. I don't know if Rian has.
Might have heard
Are
of
these the sky tigers?
Are these the sky tigers?
Sky Tigers.
Oh my god.
They sure are.
Oh,
Hope you know these 3 legendary Fenia warriors who druids by craft who wild shape into eagles and then on their descent wild shape into tigers, and they all land with the softness of a cat.
Now, Ben, when they descend, is there a theme song that plays or anything?
Yeah. They were born in the jungles, but they took to the skies. They're a team of sky tigers who love to skydive. Sky tigers roar, villains beware, they fight for good. Sky tigers roar, if you're in danger, just look up. And then 3 tigers land, and they kind of stand up, and as they pull back their cloaks, they're just normal elves. You're like, I was almost certain they were tigers when they landed, but they are now just normal elves.
Wait, so sorry. So when they were falling and they were in this tiger form, they weren't like bipedal tigers. They were just full-on tigers.
Oh, yeah. They were like, one of them was a white Siberian tiger, one of them was a saber-tooth.
Okay.
And they all just walk into the red bush.
When in Rome.
Hold on. We can't just walk in normally after they've made an entrance like that. We'll be laughed out of the bar.
All right, everybody do a backflip.
Oh yeah,
Yes, everyone do a
we've been
backflip.
practicing.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I think I
miss my dear friend Two Balls very
Fuck,
much.
thank God I can reroll natural ones. 2 natural ones. That's
What?
a 12.
Oh wow.
What stat is for backflips?
Acrobatics.
You don't have
Acrobatics.
have a dedicated backflip stat.
All right, 14.
Yeah, you all
I got
had various success, like practice your backflipping outside.
Sorry, is it athletics or
It's
acrobatics? This is important.
It's acrobatics.
Acrobatics.
And a 21 for me.
Oh.
21 as well. Maybe we can do a tandem one.
Yes.
You hit your horses, you all like backflip into the bar, except for Rian, who backflips into the wall. taking 2 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, damn it. Wait, I'd like to use my reaction to half the damage that the
You sure can.
I think you're going to use your new retaliate feature and stab the wall. It's an enemy.
And you make your way into the red bush. The red bush is tiny, like counter into living space, and then just like 2 or 3 tables. And around one of the tables is the sky tigers who you saw descend from the sky and sort of stroll nonchalantly inside. They don't seem to have paid you any attention, but they do as you sort of backflip in.
Okay.
And here I kind of, and then I guess Rian walks in. Or are you going to try again?
Yeah. No, I'm going to walk in.
Okay, go.
One spin.
And
This whole pub is basically one giant snug.
Yeah, it's like someone's taken a 2-bed house, a 2-room house, and turned it into a 1-room pub and just squalor.
I'm picturing, like the Royal Oak in Kilmainham.
Where is it? Yeah. It's almost like it's as small as that pub in Ackle, owned by Phil Lynnett's granny. Is that who?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's that small.
Right here.
That pub.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. That's so good.
I have this here as a prop. Yeah.
Hold it up a little.
Is that from your birthday trip?
Yeah, this is
amazing.
Last when we were all allowed in pubs. Yeah.
It's so good.
That's small. So and they're just tucked into a corner, and behind one of the counters is an elven man, just ready to pull pints if he needs to, or serve up sandwiches.
I don't know why that's funny. Just an elf making sandwiches is weirdly funny to me.
4 tall frosty sandwiches, please.
You really seem to be
4 pints of your smoothest sandwich.
4 pints of butter.
Are the sky tigers? Are they like engrossed in conversation and like looking like how friendly do they look?
They seem like they're kind of on, like they're working. They're working tigers.
If you're
They're
asking
kind
Huck,
of
he
conversing.
looks very friendly.
They look up though and they spot Huck and they go, "You, I'm one of the sky tigers who's now just a regular elf man. So I guess elf man stands up and walks towards him and goes, "You're a part of the Fina. Were you sent by Abbey de Vauclair to help us with the Fey invasions that are happening around our fort?"
Well, no. But sure, we got some time. We could give it a crack.
Yes.
I've never met a Fey invasion yet that I haven't been able to repel. Just to say, I've never met a Fey invasion yet.
Well, it's not that we need you, and kind of counts for. No, you can't be the Fina.
I'm the only one who's in the Fina.
Who did he look at that? Who did he look at?
Yeah, what was the deciding factor there?
The four companions that Huck is keeping and he went, mentally, the Fina travel in groups of 3. So as soon as he can't, he's like, 1, 2, definitely Fina, 3, 100% 4. Nope, wrong.
You know how to count. Damn it.
Yeah.
This guy strikes me as a person who needs to count with his fingers. He's like, this group could be Fina. 1, 2, 3. No.
Couldn't be. Wait, 4, 5, 6. Nope, no 5 or 6. So it can't be 2 bands of Fina.
I was going to say, can 2 groups of Fina travel together?
Oh, absolutely.
Or they can have a group of 6 or 9.
Yeah. As long as it's multiples of 3 or 9, then we're golden, according to both Irish mythology and this world.
I know it's a bit strange, and my pals were called Huck's Punks, by the way. You might have heard of us. But my pals, they're not necessarily in the Fina yet. They're only having a go of it now. We'll see. This is a trial run. And I'm trying a whole new thing, because, 4, that's good crack.
I consider it from
we're
rebels. Well, if 4... I've always found the 3 thing a little bit weird myself. I think if we travelled in groups of higher numbers, we wouldn't be in the problem we're currently in, which is multiple bands of Fina have been sent up by Abbey de Vauclair and Dracht. You know the Fina headquarters in Dracht?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Boy,
we were just there.
Oh! So did you see any warriors headed this way? We've been promised reinforcements, and yet no one has arrived.
No, there was a small gnome going the other way. And a lot of merchants.
I'm gonna clap a hand on Huck's shoulder. It's like,
My friend, I think your Vina warriors have arrived.
What?
We're
give him a little squeeze his shoulder a little bit.
Yes, that's. Ow!
Way to play it cool.
Well, you think about it, we're happy to help. We got some time, unless it's far, because we've got to have a look at a birch tree. But you mind about that. We could give a help. When is this attack going to go down? I'm sure. I mean, actually, with the 4 of us and the 3 of you, that'll be 7, and 7's a good number every time.
Again, I cannot stress this highly enough. Our job isn't actually to stop the attack or invasion. It's been happening continuously. We've been sent out to find the 3 missing bands, and you're not it. So there's still 9 of our brethren out there somewhere.
Well, we can certainly.
Did you
help assist
pass anyone on the way? Any dangers? Anything that might possibly have?
Well, we saw a very big poisonous troll.
Yeah. He'll be easy to spot now if you see him, because he's got a sword stuck in his head.
Mm-hmm.
You're welcome.
He does chuckle a little bit. Sword stuck in his head. I guess you didn't finish him off then, am I right? Oh,
well, he absolutely cannot be killed. That's why. We really, it's honestly insurmountable, impossible.
We made a good go of it, but this one fell over.
It's like we learn as kids: dire with that fire. Trolls are dire with that fire. You followed that rule, didn't you?
Sorry,
Trolls are dire.
What? Give it to me one more time.
Dire with that fire.
Dire with that fire.
Well, we used a lot of fire. Fire's kind of my thing. And
And again, you are Huck's punks, but who are you specifically?
I'm Huck.
We're his punks.
The punks.
Huck,
Right.
Huck's punks.
And we're the spunk. The Huck. We're the punks.
I suspect he didn't get much sleep last night because he's been really off his game.
Yeah.
Well, nice to meet you. I'm Stripe, leader of the gang. We're the Sky Tigers. You might have heard of us.
Stripe
Oh
Elfman.
yes, we've heard of you. We saw you falling from the sky.
Yes, excellent. Can we buy you a round of drinks? That was an excellent entrance.
Well, we probably, and you hear from the back, let him buy us the drinks. And this elf who has kind of an eye patch over his eye, grizzly, kind of older, a little bit gruffer on the edges, cool but rude, you might describe. Goes, we gotta, let them buy us drinks. Stripe, come on. We've been looking for days. We can't find them. Mine's a pint.
And what's your name?
I'm sorry. Is one of your lookouts on this research reconnaissance mission has one eye?
And this guy stands up and
I try to nudge.
he's tall. He's brawny for brawny.
Brawny.
Brawny means big, right?
Yeah.
Brawny for an elf, and goes, I might have one eye, but I'm a better tracker than any of you combined. I can guarantee you that much.
Well, we're all awful trackers, so that seems fair.
I'm sure we'll see once we're out in the wilderness and helping you with your issues. Who's the better tracker, my friend?
He kind of looks in and peers at you. Disguise up, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah.
Well, my half-orcan brother.
Oh,
We'll see.
how did you find out who I was under this mask?
I can hear your tusks.
Well, appears you're more astute than I thought you were.
Nothing gets past me.
On what should be his peripheral vision on the side that he has the patch, I'd like to give him the finger.
It's not a high DC, but roll stealth nonetheless.
All right.
What
Sleight of hand.
is peripheral?
Oh, it's sleight of hand, I guess. Unless sleight of hand would be doing this.
Okay.
But
Yeah, blatant.
It doesn't sound like he's being subtle.
16.
16. Let me actually find out. I do have stats for everyone. So let me find out what his passive perception is. Oh, sweet. That's neat. For the very first time, I'm delighting myself with a link in my notes that brings me to an actual page. 16 passive perception. And without moving its head, just goes.
I like to introduce myself. I'm Ignatius O'Flynn. Offer a hand and try to get his name.
Growler. Nice to meet you. Both named after a thing a tiger does and a thing beer comes in. So it's totally legit on the show. It's totally legit.
Run that by me. A stripe and a growler?
Well, Stripe is a regular just tiger name, but Growler is both what beer comes in and the name of this gruff, cool but rude tiger.
I've never heard
made
of growler
by
before.
Yellow Belly. And you could get growlers from Yellow Belly if you're in Wexford at the moment, and from other pubs.
I've never heard growler before. That's interesting.
Yeah, they're like
It has.
they're like just like refillable bottles of beer that you can bring to a pub and they'll fill it up. And not what my eldest brother would describe as just a rude term for something else.
Yeah.
This show is
that is where my mind went.
Yeah. Nope, it's beer. We're talking beer, not sexy stuff. It's a big beer jug. As I crack into one of my all-time favorites, Northern Lights by Whiplash, which isn't the name of the third Sky Tiger. I didn't change their names because Yellow Belly already made a beer with Sky Tigers on it. I figure they get to keep their names. That's my ruling.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we'll tweet out that label in better resolution because it's a very cool beer label.
Yes, yeah. And also, I'm not going to open this specific bottle because this bottle was given to me 4 years ago. And I quote verbatim, "Do not drink this, Ben. We don't know what's in it. We just bottled and labeled it." So this could be anything. But they do have Sky Tiger beer. It's a red ale on a limited run from Yellow Belly. So thank you, Yellow Belly. We get to introduce it to the show. I will try get some growlers of it next time they do it running, and we'll drink it for real.
Nice.
But it made sense that they were druid skydiving tigers in Driect, so where else would you meet them in Hibernia?
When you say it makes sense. Like, you did also say that sentence. Like, that makes sense.
Where else?
Skydiving tigers who are also
So
druids.
perfectly delivered that you shot up into frame to say that like a cartoon character.
It makes sense. Whenever we need to really deliver a line, yeah.
Yeah. I like that they're just making a cameo in a pub. It just seems like if it was a TV film, if it was a TV show, they'd just be in the background. You wouldn't be having this conversation. But for plot, you are.
Well, can I go get them drinks and bring them over?
Yeah, it costs you like 2 silver to get a round of drinks.
It was.
And you sit down, you pull over some tables and you sit down with them. And Stripe kind of seems to be the de facto leader and face of the group and tends to sort of vocalize. The last tiger, Tigra, female elf, again, hood up, little tiger sewn on. She's a little bit of a, she has an aesthetic. You're picking up a bit of a vibe between Stripe and Tigra. It's a will they, won't they situation. Who knows? And they explain the situation. They're looking for 3 bands of Fina that have been sent up by Abbey de Vauclair to help them with the rise of Fae sightings and sort of Fae attacks that's been happening in the area. You don't know if the troll you fought, given its poison nature, has come from the other world, has come from the Feywild. Might be, might not be, or they might just be influenced by the fact that there is more activity. More so than you would expect, and also as a member of the Fina, you're kind of sworn to protect the material plane from invasions from Tir na Nog, the Feywild.
Yeah.
So far, none of these bands have arrived. And Stripe goes, I haven't heard of a dead village, but I do know the solitary birch you're speaking of. So as you ride north, veer east, down a side path lined with birches. You're not too far from it, actually. It's the next right. We would accompany you there to make sure you get there safely, but as a member of our own, I'm sure you can handle yourselves.
So
The Venom Troll.
You're
The Venom Troll.
You're sure it's the next right and not 2 rights after that?
No, it's the next right.
That gnome.
100%. What? Did someone tell... Anyway, it's the next right. You'll see the line of birches. Couldn't miss it. I mean, in fact, if I was to give you directions from anywhere along this road from Drake's to our dune, I'd be like, the line of birches. Follow that goat path down the way.
I see. This is a man who knows that the Fianna know how to give directions.
These are probably the best directions we've heard all day.
Aye, and this is the second.
Are you heading towards danger or peril?
No, I've never been to either of them.
Yes,
They don't
absolutely.
sound great. I wouldn't call a village that. But no, it should be fine. We're just going to have a look at a tree. Sure, what could go wrong?
Our fort is half a day's further travel north. Should you need to rest up or anything, you know where to find us. We are Dune Beer Name. Dune Beer Name. Dune Graciosa from Hopfully, but I have a feeling there's a better Dune name on the table here somewhere.
Let's see. I've got Goes to Hollywood.
Yeah, let's go to Hollywood just for a rest later.
It's Goes to Hollywood, which is a Tool beer that I'm drinking at the moment, or Toll.
Ooh, Dune Tool. Sounds good. That's kind of catching my ears.
It's lovely. It's a
Dune
Goes
Toll?
brewed with orange beer. So
Yeah, I think, and I hate to be the actually craft beer nerd, that it's not Tool, but it's Toll.
Yeah.
Like Toll. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Dune
You
Toll.
already used up your one of those actuallys with Iggy's horse. You already used your actually.
Yeah,
with
now I
Estrella.
your way forever.
Tahul. Dune Tahul. Probably not how you say it, but anyway.
yeah, correct my spelling and then have no faith in your own pronunciation.
I've
I
heard
know
that
you
they-
were wrong, but
It's the perfect way to do it, because then when you're proved wrong, you're like, yeah, but I said there was a chance I was doing it wrong anyway, so it's fine.
I know Dune is right.
Mm-hmm.
Further half day's travel north is our fort. You'll find a band of 12 Fina there. Not enough to... I mean, we're holding our own, but reinforcements is always good. But I'm a little bit more worried about our 9 brothers and sisters who haven't made it up.
we had heard that some people have been going missing, all right. And we were told to keep a lookout on the way, but we haven't seen anything.
And have you noticed anything unnatural on the road? Anything that would
The
arouse
Venom
suspicions?
Troll didn't seem all that natural to me. honest with you.
Other than the giant poisonous troll, no.
I think he could definitely have done some damage to them. Oh,
I mean, against 3 Fina, Troll wouldn't stand a chance. What are you talking about?
When you touched him, he exploded with poison, and it tasted so bad. Right, I can't stress this enough. The
Can I-
poison tasted so bad.
Can
I feel
draw
like
a
you're speaking
picture?
from experience. Yeah. Roll a performance check.
Draw a really gory photo, a picture of what happened when we fought them to try.
Yeah, you do a little 3-panel newspaper column.
Exactly.
With a clever, witty pun at the end.
Congress? Question mark.
That's great.
It applies for whatever political leaning you have.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But again, I can't imagine 3 Fianna falling to a troll, even a poisonous venom troll, as you speak.
No,
Thus,
see this drawing?
He was a tough one, but sure, I would say that the free Fianna could handle it too.
I have a feeling that they have simply, and this is my hunch, that they've simply vanished, and that is worrisome.
Wouldn't the Fianna know if they vanished? Wouldn't they know how to get back? Sure, they ken the Feywild
Yeah, true.
better than anyone. So that's a scary notion indeed, if it's true.
You're putting my mind at ease because, of course, yes, we could find our way back, but the question isn't if or where; it's when.
Yeah, that's true. I lost 2 months to the Feywild, not 2 months ago.
Yes, that's true. We've experienced this whole time slipping business firsthand. It's confusing.
He puts it well. He puts it well. As I said, my friends aren't exactly. They've been through and back but they haven't quite done all the Fianna.
We haven't had the Fianna training that Huck has. That's why he's the boss and we're the spunk.
I don't know why they started calling themselves the spunk, but sure, that's their call.
Well, my friends, we would normally escort you to the solitary birch, but I'm afraid time is somewhat of the essence. But now that you speak of it, and he turns over to Tigra and goes, "Send a message to Dún Toll. Perhaps with the increase in Fey sightings this side of our plains, that it is possible that they've slipped through a crack and have indeed been taken away by the fairies. I worry of them, but there's nothing we can do except wait. We'll be riding north towards our dune. You say you 100% haven't passed anyone else from the Fianna on your road here."
Oh no, I'd definitely stop if I saw some Fianna, and I was looking out. Probably.
And I guess we must head back and report and send a message to Abbey de Vauclair and say, although this is dire and the situations are fraught with tensions, do not send anyone else, because obviously somewhere along this road there is a tear and rift in reality itself, and one small step off the path could take you drifting into years, if not decades, in the Feywild.
If it's a message you're willing to send, we're heading back after this whole birch tree thing. We're just going to have a look at the birch tree and then heading back, so we could give that message for you.
Oh, well, we
some
can do
manpower.
it instantaneously with magical means. I mean,
Oh,
we could
okay.
wait.
Fine. Do as you please.
But I appreciate the offer. I really do. It's very kind of you to, but at the very least, maybe just reinforce the urgency of the situation when you get back.
Aye. It's just occurred to me that if it had been a different halfling in charge, we'd have been called the Reinforce.
Ah!
Oh, that's so good.
But we're not. We're
And
Huck's
Stripe-
punks, and everyone's happy with that.
No downside.
Stripe does look towards you and goes, I
well,
presume
it's been-
your name then is
It's been
Rian.
great chatting to you.
I mean,
if we hear anything or see anything, we'll head half a day's journey north to Tool.
And we might take up that offer of where to sleep tonight, because our last night's sleeping situation was not the safest. So maybe we could go to that outpost.
Well, it's past where you're traveling to, but you could, I guess, loop back on yourself and you're not far from where you're going. I'd say you'll get there in an hour or two.
I was going to suggest we find somewhere in all of these commuter hamlets. We might sleep somewhere a bit safer this evening.
But after you're done, do loop around to Dún Toll and then maybe make your ride back to Drake. I presume that's where you're heading back to. You mentioned that you were heading back to Drake, so And at that, you hear kind of the clanking of tankards down as both Growler and Antigua finish their drinks. And Stripe has barely touched his. And he's, it always happens. Okay. And are you sure you don't need an escort towards the solitary birch? We're happy to ride with you.
Well, no, we should be grand. It's a private matter.
Well, absolutely. Well, in which case, Sky Tigers. And they all stand up and make their way outside. And they put up their cloaks. And it's like, for how cool they've come across, because they've come across cool, like really cool, like merchandise cool. The move they do is like the type of sort of move that like kids would respect, but adults would find dumb and tell them not to watch such stupid things. That's the kind of vibe they get off as they sort of grab their cloak, pull their hands out, and then put their hoods up and turn into. It's unfortunate that they turn into eagles first to get up, but then. Because they've no way to get up there.
Sky Tigers.
Wait, yeah, so when they get into the air, they don't turn back into tigers, presumably, because then they'll just fall.
For the descent, they 100% turn into tigers.
Okay, but they're eagles.
Actually, you know what? They're gone. I should ask them next time. There's no point.
And they fly off with the classic Hibernian bird noise. Kee!
I'll be honest, I'm sort of struggling to see how the tiger form assists in this travel in any way. But I suppose it's
so cool.
Go to ground.
It's very confusing. I guess it's the landing.
The landing.
A tiger always lands on its feet.
We should make a druid friend and ask them some questions. Maybe there's a use to it we're not seeing.
I do feel like eagles are quite good at landing as well on their
Yeah.
Eagles are only good at flying. That's why you only ever see them in the sky.
I would probably just stay as an eagle if I were one of them, to be honest. They did leave.
Did they leave any of their drinks behind? It sounds like they left full pints.
Stripe did leave a full pint behind, yeah.
I'm immediately taking it and like drinking it.
A full pint and kind of a half-eaten bag of bacon fries.
Well, we could sit there. They've left their seat. Why don't we finish off what they've left behind? No sense in it going to waste.
Aye, and we got better directions now. Sure, we're very close.
Indeed, we are.
You take a relaxing lunch. Some of you, if you need fresh air, there is a small kind of bench outside this little home cottage pub that you can sit on and just sort of enjoy watching the world go by. Which is where the bartender is. So if you do need him, he's outside sitting on the bench.
Nice.
That's a weird place for a bartender to be.
He knows you're inside.
Yeah. Okay.
He knows how much beer he has.
Quick game of jacks.
He uses it every time.
Why do I keep losing money?
Cool. I guess we chill out and then make a move.
Yeah. Beer. We talked about this before, that if you spend time kind of eating or drinking or doing any sort of imbibing on this show, that we have kind of homebrew rules where like a good hearty meal gives you a bonus to one of your stats later on. So consider yourself all you're a little bit tipsy and you've got advantage on your next charisma-based roll.
Excellent.
Make note of that because it could easily be in 2 weeks from now. So who knows, as we're kind of drifting towards the end of this session. Not just yet. We're kind of still have enough time for a parting glass.
Okay. Is there enough time that I might run to the bathroom?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Hide my thing.
So Iggy in real life, Iggy in Hibernia life nips to the pisser. We're not going to go so Irish that it's like old fashioned and there's like a biscuit tin. That was gross and we shouldn't have done it in the first place. But if you look into Irish pub life and history, we weren't very kind to women in the past. That's on us. Well, not on us, but that's on Irish pub life.
So as soon as the only female cast member leaves, we're going to be like, okay, things were sexist back then, but now we're aces. It's all good now.
Now she's gone. We can clear the air.
Part of me was tempted to describe terrible pub culture in Ireland in like the early to mid 1900s and before when women weren't allowed in pubs for whatever reason. But I avoided that temptation by subverting it and saying that's not what we're doing.
You know what is it? It used to be around the corner from you, Ben. What's the one in Rathmines? Damn it.
The one that moved, Roddy Boland's, they moved an entire pub.
No, it's the other one. Anyway, there's a pub there anyway. Completely escaped the name.
Biddy Earns?
No, it's like across the road from a Centra.
Oh, we met there. we met there when
Yeah.
we talked about starting this show.
Yes.
Slattery's.
Slattery's, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Slattery's has a fucking great spot. Like, there's like the pub with the bar, and then directly behind that, there's like a really narrow corridor that people hang their coats and hang out for drinks. And apparently, that's where women used to hang out while their men drank. It's so bizarre. But like, it's now like it's just a cool little like a sneaky little set of seats that no one knows about, and there's a little hatch to get to the bar, so it's actually one of the most coveted spots in the whole fucking pub. But yeah, I forgot we met there to initially talk about the show. I didn't even think about
the very first time myself and Wes met up to talk about homebrew being a thing 2-ish years ago, like a couple of months away from 2-ish years ago, we met in Slattery's in Rathmines. So if you're ever passing by, and this is years from now when this
presuming
show is
you're on the
roaring
homebrew
success.
tour of Dublin.
Yes, presumably you've fucked the James Joyce one out the window. You've got the book, useless. Ours is way shorter and more entertaining. What do we tell you? Books, boring. Don't read Ulysses. Watch this. Won't tell you about pubs. There's been two recommendations today. Both the small pub in Ackle, owned by Phil Lynnett's uncle, granny, auntie, and Phil Lynett something, and then Slattery's in Rathmines. So you all set off, a little bit tipsier than before, and you ride, and it's not far. Like, again, it's a little bit later in the day. There's that classic sort of, there's a coolness in the air from the shower you experienced earlier, and you do spot the birches easy enough. And you sort of have to hop off your horses and guide them down this path. It's a little harder to sort of gallop down it. Type of thing that if you were to try it in a video game, big chance your horse will fall and die. So you're not willing to risk it.
How's Red Dead going in lockdown?
It's. I've actually moved to Witcher 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Which I feel like they got the horse mechanic from originally. I'm very much looking forward to Cyberpunk 2077.
The horse in that is supposed to be very good.
I'm all about horse-based games. Ocarina of Time, Red Dead, and BoJack Horseman, the choose your own adventure.
Yeah, you got hooked on Red Dead initially because you misheard someone saying it was a Western and heard it was an equestrian game.
Yeah. Horse simulator. That's when I want to. That's you sign me up.
Beauty. The game.
So you make your way down the small goat path as you lead your horses, and 30 minutes, 20 minutes, you're kind of making your way through the bristle. You're kind of pushing around bushes scraping up against you, and the trees around you just sort of clear away, and you find yourself in an open glade. And right there in the center is a singular birch tree. There is no sign of a dead village, but there is the tree.
Okay, well, that looks like a birch tree on its own, all right.
You should be careful, my friend.
I was
Do you
going
have any information on what we're supposed to do here?
why don't you just go and like maybe kiss it and whisper it a bit?
Well, let's put a pin on that for a moment.
We could. It's strange that there's not a dead village. Everyone I thought was pretty clear about that, and then as I remember it, it was like a really dead village, really burnt down and decrepit and everything else. Certainly became that way after time. Should we have a look in the underbrush around here, this glade, and see if we can find a series of small walls?
Okay. Yeah.
Take your lead on this one, my small friend.
I just, caution, as is always Huck's first port of call. Everyone knows.
Yeah, you begin. You kind of wander into this glade, looking around. Make an investigation check.
Cool. That is not going to go well for me. But I urge my teammates to help. There.
To help you with it. Amazing.
Yeah. Claire probably thought he was looking for help with a physical activity, and she's like, "You want me to help roll dice? Fuck off."
She was trying to get through the room as quickly as possible. 8. So not great.
Can I also look around?
Yeah.
22. Natural 20. 22.
Oh, natural 20. That's even better than 22.
So if you get higher, you just say natural 20 because that's better than getting above 20?
Yeah, natural. It's literally the highest you could roll. So you could say natural 20 and then add your modifier as well. But like natural 20 is a critical success. So it's up to DM if that means like you win no matter what. But
rules as written is like natural 20 only counts on like attacks, I think, like rolled attacks. But homebrew rules in this game, because it's fun to get a 20 on the dice, then it's good to happy all out. I think we lost Rian, our halfling rogue. I presume he's just stealthing around the glade.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing his own.
I'm gonna have a look around. I'm not gonna touch the tree, but I want to have like a look around and see if there's any rings of salt around it or anything suspicious that I can see with my eyes and not my hands.
Well, funny enough, as you go towards this tree, Iggy, you point out, you're like, whoa, watch out. And what you've noticed is that there's this ring of like small little mushrooms growing in a perfect circle around this tree. And the mushroom caps themselves are kind of that classic fantasy mushroom red with the little kind of white dots in them. And beautiful. Inside the circle around this tree, it's like the grass is like a vibrant green. It's lusher, it's full of life. There's a glistening fresh dew across the blades in here. So you stop yourself before you get too close to the tree, because it's like walking on someone's like curated garden. You're like, oh, probably shouldn't walk here. And before you even step, you just hear like Arlington. You do hear like,
okay, my axe is out.
From where do we hear that?
It's hard to place. You just hear
from the tree or behind us. Can we tell any?
Yeah, you can tell. Like as Arlington was about to step into across the circle, like there was a gasp sort of around you. More so
I stop where I am. Like I don't cross.
Arlington, you might not want to go in because remember the last time we saw a circle like this?
Did everyone hear that abrupt gasp and then the relieved sigh? Hello?
Hi.
Not well. Hello. Is there anyone here?
That's Huck. Shh.
I think I heard my name.
Although I'm using one voice, it's multiple voices.
Yeah. Do I recognize this style of speech from my forest dwelling days?
Sure. Make a nature check.
Nature. That is a 15.
15. Yeah, hold on, let me just double check something real quick. Make a
Make another roll.
An intelligence saving throw.
Right.
Not my strong suit. Or a good roll. That's a 4.
4.
Oh no.
You're trying to think back on where you might know this from. And you're looking around and you see Huck in front of you. And Huck, you're kind of, I guess, boyish curls. Is that a fair way to describe your sort of tussle of hair?
Yeah.
Just like, seems to like grow into a waterfall of blonde locks in front of you, Arlington. And you're like, that's odd.
Huck, you're beautiful. When did your hair get so long and lovely?
I've always been a dab hand at the old beauty there. What do you mean hair?
I've never noticed it before. It's a strange time to notice it. I know we're in the middle of a very tense situation, but I feel like it's good. You take care of yourself, and that's important.
What the? I'm not a blonde.
No, your hair hasn't changed up.
Okay, grand. Then I didn't ken what you're saying there, Arlington. I'm the same as I've always been. Although you're right, I am a handsome. I cut a good piece of cloth. That's a halfling expression.
Did we all?
It means he's got a big dick. I'm going to take a couple of steps back. I'm pretty sure that someone's watching us, and I don't really want to fall into a trap or anything like that.
100% you get the feeling that someone's watching.
Yeah.
Did I hear my name?
You did, yeah. You heard your name, and then followed by some like, Iggy, make a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
So accepting. Mm-hmm.
What could go wrong here? Sorry. I'm using digital dice. Ooh, that was a 10.
Before you all, Iggy, beside her horse, just seems to disappear. Like, and you see this like beautiful little butterfly just kind of like flapping around. And Iggy, you've just been turned into a butterfly. You have the mental stats of a butterfly.
Okay.
So nothing's changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she flying in place or is she flying away?
I think I would fly immediately, maybe onto the horse out of fear, and just try and freeze. And yeah, like I don't know. Am I allowed to say what I would do, or am I just?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
you
still
are
in control of
target,
your faculties.
but you're just a butterfly.
Okay.
I I know the effect of the little folk when I see them, I think. Are there any fae kind around? I am Huck. I think you know me well, or have heard of me. And then
we have to answer him. He is royalty. But we have to. I mean, yes, I miss his parties. Don't you miss his parties? And it's hard to focus at first because in front of your eyes, Huck, a small, like tiny, diminutive creature, like kind of beautiful, like is wearing, the bottom of an acorn as a dress, and sort of like nice little leaves wrapped around. And goes, you are Prince Huck, aren't you? That's where we'll leave today's episode. Why not? That seems like a cliffhanger. With Iggy as a butterfly, Arlington, imagine this is glowing locks, and a tiny little creature in front of Huck.
Excellent.
Bowing deeply.
Hearing from the shadows.
They did not see me. That seems like a good a place as any to end it. I think.
yeah.
No, sorry, Huck. I'll give you your answer. That's a fairer thing to do, is it?
No, I think my answer was what I had done. I stuttered for a couple of seconds. What?
As we pull back, we see maybe like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pixies all just kind of float up from the ground and fly. Can they fly? I think they have wings, right? Yeah.
They should have wings.
Yeah, pixies have wings, right? Fly up and then like, and one of them even has like a tiny. They play it like a trumpet, but it's actually a grass whistle. And they all bow and go, Prince Huck. And that's where we'll end. That's where we'll end today's session. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. I believe we'll be into June. Let me have a quick look at the old calendar, because I always forget this.
I mean,
June 9th. We'll be back on June 9th as we kind of continue on with the mystery that is the dead village and the solitary birch. Until then, of course, spread the good word of Homebrew Quest. Tell your friends, follow us on socials. If you haven't hit that thumbs up, it's just a simple click. We really appreciate it. For such a small effort on your part, it means such a big thing to us. How else are we going to get drunk with each other without the glorified verification of people on the internet, of fans? Do join us on our Discord channel. You'll probably find the most reliable link, I believe, is on our Twitter account. I think we have a link tree on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. So you'll find us. If you don't, we're easily accessible. We're easily lookupable. Just search our names on Google. You'll find us. Send us a message. We'll invite you to Discord because we love chatting beer, D&D, tabletop, games, everything. It's a lot of fun. It's kind of kicking off there, which is great. It's great to see this community who's just into kind of a feel-good time. Feel good, almost kill your bugbear kind of time. So come join us. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We are still in this difficult situation, so be kind to yourself. Remember, you're not working from home. You're working during a crisis at home. So give yourself a little bit of slack. Be sound, and good night, and joy be to you all. I think that's the first.